Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the first live stream here on Sudden Death Sports. We have never done this before, so I thought it'd be interesting to give it a shot. I don't know if we're going to have too many folks joining us, but the theme for this stream is naming the most iconic player for each NFL team. I thought it'd be fun to do this as we're getting into the NFL season pretty soon here. It starts, God, about a week from now, more or less. And when we talk about iconic players, this isn't necessarily the best player for each team, but it's kind of like the first person who comes to mind. Now, certainly, we weren't alive for when some of these players were making a huge impact. But oh snap, right, Riley, our first our first viewer. What's going on? Thanks for hopping in here, man. You'll have to give me some thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons in just a little bit here. But yeah, it's kind of like who comes to mind, right? Who made an impact not only on the field but off the field? Who was marketable? Who was a big personality? Strong arm. What's going on? Thanks for hopping in here. So Riley's a Falcons fan. Looks like you're a Bucks fan. I think that's what you were saying. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of my theme to this stream here. So the way that we're going to do this is I actually have some visuals. Once we're going to go through each team, we might run a poll to get your thoughts on this. I have a couple players in mind for each of these teams. And as we determine each iconic player, I actually have a visual for this. You know what? I'll pull that up in just a second. But first, for those of you who've never seen her before, I do want to introduce new folks to my co-host here, and that's my bestest best friend, and that's Cortana. So Cortana, say hello. And she'll be hanging out with us throughout the stream. Robbie, hey, thanks for hopping in here. All right, great. By the way, Robbie, who's your team? So if you're a Maple Leafs fan for hockey, I would think Bills for football, but I could be wrong. But yeah, this is great. I'm excited to have some people already tapping in here, and we'll get started very soon. I just want to see if anybody else can join us here. In the meantime, I'll pull up my handy dandy second screen here. All right, so here's what it looks like, right? So we have 4 different cards here, and they correspond with quadrants of divisions. So we have one player for each team, and you can see the logos here kind of representing each team. And then we have, a card like this for the South teams, the AFC South and the NFC South. We have one for the AFC West and NFC West. And then we'll finish off with the North. And considering we have a couple of folks here whose favorite team plays in the NFC South, then perhaps we might start with that one. Cowboys. Them boys, huh? All right. We're going on how many years since the last playoff win? That's all good. It's not like my favorite team, the Vikings, have anything to boast about. Bolts fan for hockey. Lakers for basketball. Yeah. There's no pro team in Tampa, so I can see what you mean there. Although, I mean, if I lived in Tampa at the time that I was growing up, I would have been a huge Magic fan because the first real game I ever watched was when the Magic were playing the Rockets in the final there. So we're talking about Shaq, right, before he even went over to the Lakers. Ravens, Ray Lewis, yeah. Oh, we'll be talking about them. Michael Irving, and Troy Aikman. I mean, several Hall of Famers on those teams, right? Deion Sanders. So yeah, we're gonna certainly bring up those names in just a wee bit here. All right. So anyway, if anybody's joining, just say hello. Let us know your favorite football team, where you're watching from, all that good stuff. We'll get started momentarily here. To keep people in the loop, we're going to have a video I'm targeting for Tuesday, the 5th, although I've been dragging my ass with it. It will be on David Carr's rookie season when he was sacked 76 times. Justin, hey, thanks for hopping in here, man. Lions fan. Got 2 guys in mind, Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson. Yeah, I mean, from our lifetime, I can't see any other player being in that mix. Tony Romo. I mean, he had at least about 12 years there in Dallas. And then of course Riley's interesting because he's got his favorite teams are kind of scattered throughout the continent. So that's really neat. All right. You know what, guys? I don't want to waste too much of your time here. So we can dive into this. Hey, Ethan, what's up? CJ, hey, what's going on? He's one of our moderators on Twisted Wrister Hockey. So I'm glad to see some of my regulars from there tune in here. We'll see what you guys think of this. And of course, you're welcome to let me know if you have ideas for future streams. especially for people who don't watch my hockey videos and are watching my videos here on Sudden Death. I just wanted the opportunity to just kind of get a sense of who's out there, hopefully start kind of slowly building a community here, have some more live streams. So that's kind of one thing that we want to do here. And without further ado, we can jump right into this. Now, I said AFC, we can start with the South first. So, yeah, we're going to start. How about this, Riley? You were the first person to jump into our stream here. So, how about we start with the AFC South? And the first team I've got here lined up is the Atlanta Falcons. So I did some thinking about this, and you can start typing some names in the chat that come to mind. All right. So to give you my take on this, and I looked at a couple of websites to see if they had lists about this sort of thing. You know, Deion Sanders got his start there, and I think he actually played more games in Atlanta than he actually did in Dallas. It's weird because I wasn't watching the NFL quite when Deion broke in with Atlanta. So that's one name. Julio Jones, one of the greatest receivers of all time. Although you can't slight Roddy White because he was fantastic as well, just got kind of overshadowed later in his career. Matt Ryan, I know that he's not necessarily an elite quarterback through the duration of his career, but the longevity, you know, he got his team nearly to the Super Bowl first, and then a few years later, and not to mention he had won an MVP, right? And then a few years later, right, they go to the Super Bowl 28-3, right? Michael Vick, one of the most exciting players of that era. I know, obviously, you know, we could talk ad nauseum about, you know, the dog fighting scandal, but anyway, his talent alone certainly warrants him in this discussion, right? I didn't really think of anybody else from that 1998 team though, because they were they were a team that played really well as a unit. It wasn't necessarily one player who was just dominating out there, as good as like Jamal Anderson was, right? The running back. So yeah, what do you guys think, right? Falcons, Michael Vick. Yeah, Ethan, hey, I'm still holding on to that idea. I haven't found anybody who's like, besides yourself, who's like, hey, let's do this now, but we could do that. Matt Ryan and Michael Vick. All right, guys, what do you think, right? Are there any other names that are jumping out there between Julio Jones? Here, you know what? I know we don't have a ton of people right now, but let's just throw up a poll because that will be a little bit easier just to get people's opinions here. Michael Vick, all right. Michael Vick, Julio Jones. We'll do Deion Sanders, and we'll do Matt Ryan. Chris Chandler. Yeah, I mean, how long did Chandler play there? I don't know if he played more than a handful of years. But certainly, you know, he was a very efficient quarterback in that 98 season from what I recall. So yeah, give me your thoughts when you have a moment here. Obviously, the more votes we get, the better representation we can provide for our community of viewers here, especially for people who watch a little bit later on. So yeah, let me see what you guys think. Are we going to go straight with Michael Vick? All right. I mean, continue to vote if you'd like, but for right now. So here's what I do, right? I go to Michael Vick, and there he is right there. You know, I think of course, Madden 2004, one of the great football video games of my lifetime. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, I want to go to my folder here, so just bear with me momentarily. Oh, yeah, because we're doing live streams now. All right, we're going to go with ATL Vic. All right, so we're going to go with Michael Vick for this. All right. So now I get to do this. Let's see here. There we go. Perfect. Actually, that does look pretty good. Can I do this? Here, wait a second. Hold tight, guys. Michael Vick. Can we do a clipping mask? Oh, that's right, because I have to do, yeah, it's kind of lame. I got this. There we go. All right, we got Vic. Nice going, guys. All right. Wonderful. So yeah, Vic was the winner there. Good stuff, Hufflepuff. All right, gotta take out the the garbage, and you help your landlady take out her garbage. All right, now we're gonna go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm gonna throw out a few of my ideas. Let me know in the chat here. So I remember Strong Arm here had talked about Mike Allstott. Now, I believe it was TPS Sports just a few months ago made a video just like this, and they chose Mike Allstott as the most iconic Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I like the choice a lot because he was very at the time he was almost like a running back as a fullback. The power that he could run with, and just watching the way that that opponents would bounce off his body, it was amazing. He was quite a weapon, a unique one at that. Derek Brooks won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's in the Hall of Fame. Simeon Rice, I believe it. If Simeon Rice had played more with one team versus another, he would certainly be elevated on a list like this. I think one of the more underrated pass rushers of that era. He also played with the Arizona Cardinals. Rondé Barber, a Hall of Fame cornerback, or is it safety? Anyway, in the secondary, you had Rondé Barber. But my personal nomination is Warren Sapp because he was dominant and it was the trash talk. It was the personality, the bravado, the arguments or the bickering he would have back and forth with Brett Favre, right? So for me, if I choose one player here, Allstott, I think is a great pick, but I personally would go with Warren Sapp. So let me know your thoughts here. Rob Gronkowski, boy, how many years did he play there? About 3, 4? Warren Sapp, Thomas Edward, Patrick Brady. I mean, Brady would be certainly toward the top of the list if the team hadn't won that first Super Bowl in 02. Gronkowski was only there for a couple years. All right, so I'll throw in a couple ideas here. Let's see here. I'm going to put in Allstott. Can't not put in Derek Brooks. I'll put in Brady as well. Derek Brooks. Put in people's first names. For anybody just joining us, feel free to say hello here in the chat. All right. So I'm going to give you some choices here in the poll. And we'll see what you guys come up with. 99. I mean, yeah, Warren Sapp was just like, he was kind of like the John Randall, as John Randall's career was kind of winding down a little bit. Nice Seahawks hat. Yeah, thank you. I do like this one a lot. I got this at Lumen Field a couple years ago. That's one of the few stadiums I've been to. Yeah. You got a response on Twitter from Asuka. That's pretty rad. Well, what did she say? Pardon. All right. All right. So, yeah, keep the votes coming, guys, because we want to make sure that we get as best of a representation of our community of viewers here. And do leave a thumbs up if you have a good time with us here, because then that way we attract more folks like yourselves. Hey, Cortana. Hey, let's give her a little tree here. Yeah, it's a good girl. Unfortunately, Cortana has she's kind of having some problems in her other knee now, so she doesn't need surgery right now, I don't think. But I mean, she has such an exuberance to her. She wants to go chase everything. Actually, she literally chased a coyote today and then chased 2 deer, and she's not supposed to be doing that. She's not supposed to be running. Period. So I need to keep her on a leash a little bit more often. Oh, cool. That's awesome, Riley. Yeah, keep it up, man. Mike Allstott or Rondé Barber. Yeah, I kind of squeezed Rondé Barber here. I don't have that many choices, unfortunately. I can only do 4. All right. Well, I want to keep this moving for folks here. So get your vote in because I'm going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. All right. So, and if because I can't actually vote in my polls, otherwise I would also vote for Warren Sapp. And that's the Buccaneers, because I know he also played with the Raiders. This dude, this guy gave me nightmares. He was, because the Buccaneers at the time played in the same division as the my team, the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah. All right. All right. So we'll place him in here in just a moment. All right. Here we go. Oops. Shoot. And once we actually have these done, I'll be sure to share them in our community tab. So you can look for that as well. Let's see here. We want to make sure we have a good photo of him. Let's put him underneath. There we go. All right, let's see if I can do this. Let's see here. Can I do a clipping mask? Oops. You have to play some games here to get what you want out of this. Wish it was a little bit easier, but let's see here. There we go. That's the guy. Okay, our next team is going to be the New Orleans Saints. Let me know your thoughts here in the chat. When I was looking at this list, I don't know who else you pick besides Drew Brees, honestly. You know, Drew Brees was he was one of the players who was very charitable when Hurricane Katrina hit, and then of course 4 years later he had led his team. Who's Cortana's NFL team? You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I give her a Viking shirt though. She wears that from time to time. Tampa does have a beautiful helmet. I do love it. I mean, like, who else would it be besides Breeze? Now, here's my claim to fame here. I actually took a college class with a Super Bowl winning player from the New Orleans Saints. It was crazy because one of their offensive linemen, Carl Nix, he had started his career or his college football career at New Mexico State, I want to say. He came back to his hometown area, went to junior college briefly. So I was in a class with him over the summer. He had said that he was going to go play football at Nebraska for, I believe, Bill Callahan, who used to coach the Raiders. So he goes there. And then I just remember a few years after that, the Super Bowl is coming around. And I look at the roster, and starting at, I think, right tackle for them is Carl Nix. So that's crazy. The guy went from junior college to starting right tackle in the Super Bowl. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, yeah, you know, guys, I can't see us selecting anybody else besides Drew Brees. I actually thought about literally just pre-filling a couple of these, right? Isn't it amazing though? Because Brees, even with LaDainian Tomlinson, the Chargers, they weren't as electric as you know, Brees' offense when it got to Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints. Anyway, let's go to here. We go to Brees. Place him down here. What made me a Vikings fan? That is a little bit of a detailed story for me to tell. I'll try to talk about it succinctly. My favorite baseball team was the Minnesota Twins. And because I got to see them in person when I was really young, for some reason I went to Toronto and saw them play. So I said, all right, they're playing the Twins. I'm going to be a Twins fan. And there we go. There's Breezy. And later on, as I started watching football, I learned that there was a Minnesota team for football. And so I was like, well, I cheer for the baseball team. Why don't I cheer for the football team too? Although my favorite team was the 49ers. So basically, the two of them met in the 1998 playoffs, or, well, 97 season. And so I was like, well, I'm a Niners fan, but the Niners beat the Vikings. And I'm like, damn, I kind of feel bad for the Vikings. So then they became my team. Raiders and Kings for life. What's up? Yeah, I do remember the profile name. I do. Thanks for hopping in here, man. And I'm glad you found my stream. All right. How do you think the Raiders are going to do this upcoming season? All right, guys. All right, who should we choose for the Carolina Panthers? I'm gonna give you a few names that I came up with, but certainly I welcome other names here. The two big ones that come to mind for me, I think that TPS Sports chose this in their video, or at least I would think I would respect if they did. Steve Smith was one of the great receivers of his era. He was scrappy, he was undersized, but he'd catch anything. He was always valued so much less than in fantasy football than what he actually ended up giving you. He helped my teams a couple times. Just the personality, the edge that he played with, the chip on his shoulder. Cam Newton, you still have to give it up to him for what he did in that 2015 season, winning MVP and getting to the Super Bowl. Sam Mills was a beloved defensive player who unfortunately lost his life very, very early. I think it was from some form of cancer, but he was a great player from what I recall. Tim Biakabatuka for maybe the greatest name of that era after Chris Fuumatu Ma'afala. Who else do you think for Carolina should be on this list? Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Did we do the AFC West? Not yet. Not yet. Steve Smith, Cam Newton. You have a family who's in Savannah. Oh, cool. They must be Savannah Bananas fans. Dude was such a pain in the ass in his later years with the Ravens. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't even his best necessarily. All right. So if we don't have any further players to select from, I'll put it between the two of them, right? Oh, what about Luke Kuechly? I'm sorry. I didn't even choose Luke Kuechly because he retired so early in his career that like I almost forgot about him. He has to be on here. He might be the best linebacker of what would that be? The 2010s, right? I'm gonna put him in there as a pick as well. Kevin Green, I know he played for them, but that wasn't very much of his career. So let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. Let's vote on them. Steve Smith, Cam Newton. Catch you later, CJ. And oh god, Julius Peppers. Yes. Julius Peppers, he has to be. He was like, did he make the Hall of Fame yet? You would think he'd be like first ballot, obviously. He was incredible. And the guy, didn't he play? Did he play basketball as well? I can't remember. I know that he went to North Carolina. But yeah, Julius Peppers was incredible. He was like JJ Watt before JJ Watt. That's how damn good he was. So anyway, let me put in Julius Peppers because I hard not to choose him over Cam Newton, and I think Luke Kuechly should be in there as well. So here's the poll, everybody. Let me know what you think about this. Cast a vote, as many votes as we can get. That's the best here. First ballot this coming. Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. You know, he also defensive player of the year. Maybe he was. Yeah, he was fantastic. All right. Yeah, thanks for chiming in with that, Justin. Because I didn't spend forever on this, but that's why it's not me who makes the decision. Well, I kind of do, but you know, got to get as many votes from you as possible. But yeah, I would probably drill if I had to drill this down to two. I would choose probably between Peppers and Steve Smith. Defensive Rookie of the Year. You know who else played in that era who I absolutely loved? I don't know why he slid off so soon, but he was also Defensive of Rookie of the Year. Javon Curse. That guy was a maniac. Actually, they called him the Freak. That was his nickname. All right. I think we have votes from mostly everybody here. So cast your vote if you haven't already. I'm gonna give you a few seconds here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Okay, I think that Steve Smith is a good pick. But yeah, I wouldn't fault you for choosing one or two of those other players. Man, this guy was a talent to say the least. I just want to find one of him just smack talking somebody right in their face. Yeah, I love this one. This to me is Steve Smith. He always had that look to him. All right. Carolina Smith. Beautiful. Hope you're all enjoying this so far. This is pretty fun. We did I mentioned this earlier, but we did a version of this for the NHL on Twisted Wrister Hockey for our members, and this was one of my favorite streams we've ever done there. All right, so we got that and clipping mask and skadoosh. There we go. Yeah. Now we got to put in a couple names, right? Oops. I'll group this because I don't want to just say Ron Mexico. No, I'm just joking. Michael Vick, Warren Sapp, Drew Brees, and Steve Smith. Beautiful. All right. That's the first four. Let's do the rest of the Southern Division teams. All right. So our next team is going to be the Tennessee Titans. And by the way, that can also include the Tennessee Oilers. So let me know your thoughts about that. A couple of names that stood out to me: Warren Moon. Warren Moon was kind of his own sort of style of quarterback. He played for a lot of other teams, and he was in the NFL into his mid 40s, I think. I actually have his autograph on a napkin. My dad one time ran into him in kind of in my hometown. But yeah, Warren Moon, I think he got to the Pro Bowl at least a couple of times there with the Oilers at the time. Earl Campbell, one of the all-time great running backs. Steve McNair, rest in peace, of course. Air McNair, one of the good dual threat quarterbacks of that era. And Eddie George had a great career in his time in Tennessee, because I don't think he ever played in Houston, but he played for the Tennessee Oilers. I think that might have been his rookie year. And with McNair and George going to that Super Bowl where they lost by 1 yard. You want to throw Kevin Dyson in this list, Keith Bullock, Derrick Henry. Who else would I consider? Javon Curse, sort of. Cortland Finnegan, right? So give me your thoughts for this one. I could be missing somebody else too. There might have been a kicker who was really good for them. What was it, Aldel Greco? I can't remember. Warren Moon, 5 Grey Cups, but no Super Bowl. Vince Young, the cover athlete from Madden 08 was Vince Young. Yeah. Marcus Mariota. But yeah, Justin says Earl Campbell. I can't put Vince Young on there or Marcus Mariota. They didn't have the best of times over there. I think Vince Young had like one good year, right? Where he got to the playoffs with them. Then again, Tim Tebow did that with the Broncos. Any further thoughts on that before I put up a poll? Because I could be missing somebody. And actually, I'll put Derrick Henry on there as well, because that wouldn't be fair. I do keep in mind that I'm not as much of an expert on today's NFL. Like, my real era where I can talk endlessly is from like the mid 90s to about 2010 or maybe 2015. Bruce Matthews. Oh, was he an Oiler? See, that's there you go. But yeah, he was a legend in his own right. Actually, how did he do, Bruce Matthews? Hall of Fame, 14 Pro Bowls. Okay, how do we not put him on there? But then again, not too many of us were around when the Houston Oilers, or we weren't watching football when the Houston Oilers were around. At least I would think. All right, so I'll put Bruce Matthews on there, though. Bruce Matthews. We'll put Steve McNair on there. I'm going to put Derrick Henry, because even though Eddie George had the longevity, Derrick Henry had the dominance of him. And we'll put in Earl Campbell. I can't not put Earl Campbell on this list. So sound off. Give me a vote. Let's see what you guys come up with. And then after that, we'll go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That one's going to be, let's see here, Jaguars. Yeah, there isn't one guy in particular who's jumping out at me the most on that team. But yeah, let's go with the, let's finish up here with the Oilers first. Keep those votes coming. 1993 AFC Championship game, Bills and Oilers. Yeah. Man. I that would that I mean, Falcons and Patriots, obviously, and not to mention the Chargers game against the Jaguars. It's just hard to imagine that that would happen in like in a championship game ever again. But anyway, Mark Brunell. Yeah, Brunell's going to be one of our choices too. All right, let's finish up the poll here. I'm going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Air McNair. Yeah. I mean, there might be a little bit more of, we're talking about our era a little bit more with that, and that's totally fine, right? We're just having some fun with this. All right, Steve McNair, Titans, because I know he played for the Ravens as well. Rest in peace, of course, man. I think I was at a concert when I heard about him being murdered. It was terrifying hearing about that. Man. All right. Let's paste this in there. Look at this legend right here, man. I used to, when Tennessee became the Titans, I was just smitten by them. They became my favorite team in the AFC. There we go. All right, now we get to the Jaguars. You were rolling a doobie. That's okay. That's a good excuse in my book. From the Jags, other than Trevor Lawrence, yeah, it's a little bit early for me to put Trevor Lawrence on this list, but hopefully he can make it in a couple years. Yeah, so Jimmy Smith, Fred Taylor, Maurice Jones-Drew. I think Maurice Jones-Drew might have gone to more Pro Bowls than Fred Taylor, but Fred Taylor is one of the more underrated offensive players of that era. He was great. The other guys I want to call out are Marcus Stroud. I think he was a 3-time Pro Bowler or 3-time All-Pro defensive lineman. They also had Tony Baselli, who made 3 All-Pros. Unfortunately, he had to retire at 30, but he was an elite tackle in the league. Jimmy Smith was a fantastic receiver. Keenan McCardle as well, but I would say Jimmy Smith was more of an iconic Jaguar. So, any other names? The Jags owner. Oh, that's right. I think I've heard about that before, Riley. All right, so let's get our poll going here. Finally learned how to spell Jacksonville because there's no X in it. All right, so Mark Brunell. I mean, that team initially, right? Just like it's 2 seasons into their existence, they were fantastic, weren't they? Fred Taylor, he'll make the list. Currently the only Hall of Famer for them. All right, I'll put Baselli. Romanowski. Dude, Ethan, you saw my video on him, didn't you? On this channel, I made a whole video on him. So Brunell, Taylor, Baselli, and I'm gonna say, let's see here. Wait, Brunell, Baselli. I'll put MJD on there too. No, not to slight Marcus Stroud, but yeah, Jacksonville hasn't had that like one. From what I recall, they don't have that one defensive player who just absolutely terrorizes opponents. But then again, my knowledge of the NFL really ends at about 2015. I still watch my favorite team, of course, but I just don't watch the league as much. It's because I watch hockey more than any other sport. So yeah, cast them votes, guys. Do you need to go outside? Cortana's like, hello, I've been good, Dad. You're going to watch that again? All right, let's help the algorithm out a little bit, huh? Jimmy Smith or Fred Taylor? Fred Taylor's not getting any love so far. All right. Let's close this poll. Get your vote in if you haven't already in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, are we going Mark Brunell? I guess we are. He made a couple of Pro Bowls himself. Like at his peak, he was a great quarterback. Top 5, maybe for a season or 2. All right. I mean, that was tough though, because you obviously were playing alongside like the end of Dan Marino's career, John Elway, Brett Favre, right? Let's go with Mark Brunell though. Safe bet is always a quarterback, and yeah, strong arm. I mean, not too many people who've only watched the NFL for a couple of years can name a player other than Trevor Lawrence. I like this picture. Not in the Hall of Fame. No. Brunell's not a Hall of Famer. He was a great quarterback. But it's not the Hall of Fame of being great. Or the Hall of being great. I like this picture. It's a good one. All right. Jacksonville, Brunell. I look like Shaggy. You know, I mean, I probably would more so if I had longer hair. But I kind of see what you mean. I used to have really long hair. Let's see here. Let's paste in Brunell. You look like Eli Manning. I wonder what NFL player I look like. Probably a kicker or a punter. All right, because I'm too damn thin. All right, there we go. Bam, there it is. All right, let's just, I want to do one little thing quickly here, guys. All right, Brunell, we'll drop him down. Oops. Bear with me. All right, there it is. Clipping mask. Bam, there's Mark Brunell. Nice. All right, next up, we got Joe Flacco. Nice. JJ Watt or Andre. Yeah. You know what, guys? Who else would we put for the Texans? Houston, Texas. Oops. Right? I think, JJ Watt and Andre Johnson are kind of in their own category. And those were the only two players I thought of as well. They had good players, and we're going to be talking about that in next week's video. When we look back at the 2002 team, Aaron Glenn, he had a good run over there. DeAndre Hopkins would be a nice consideration as well. But really, you know what? I'm going to have to just close it off at Watt and Andre Johnson. Just as great as Hopkins has been, right? He's gone on to play for the Cardinals as well. So, and what, the Titans, right? So I'm going to narrow this down to two players. I think it's a little bit more intense if we do it that way. JJ Watt and Andre Johnson. JJ Watt has won what? He's won MVP. Hasn't he won MVP of the league once? Or did he do it twice? I think he won at least multiple defensive players of the year. Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator. Good luck with that. Brock Osweiler. Get a slow clap for that. Nick from Windy City Hockey joins us here in the stream. I saved the North for last, but who knows? Maybe we can bump that up. One of your high school teammates was drafted by Houston. That's pretty rad. I mean, just a chance to, play alongside somebody like a JJ Watt, even if you get absolutely pummeled by him. I'd wear that like a badge of honor. All right. Well, bingo. That solidifies it. And guys, I think it's fair that it's JJ Watt because we're talking about iconic too. It's not just about how amazing of a player he was, and he's the best defensive lineman of his era without question. But JJ Watt was a very community-oriented player, very personable, very, marketable. I mean, God, look at that, dude. Like, that's as JJ Watt as it gets, is it not? It's just a shame that he lost in the Rose Bowl to TCU. Go Frogs. All right, Houston, we got Watt. Turn down for Watt. All right. And that leaves us with the Indianapolis Colts. JJ with a broken nose. I think I remember that one too. Anyway, guys, let me know in the chat who should we have for the Indianapolis Colts? I mean, it might be one of those cases where it comes down to Johnny, because this can include the Baltimore Colts. Excuse me. I mean, like, you could have Manning or you could have Unitas. I think that it basically comes down to the two of them. They have Hall of Fame receivers. They have Dwight Freeney, Bob Sanders. They have lots of amazing players. But ultimately, it comes down to one of the two, Unitas or Peyton. You could even throw Marshall Faulk in that mix if you want. Boom, there he is. Looks good. All right. Andrew Luck, if he didn't give up. I mean, he kind of had his hand forced just a bit there. All right. I think we have probably a strong enough opinion from you guys to just go straight up Peyton Manning. If there are any dissenting voices apart from Andrew Luck, let me know. Oh, if it weren't for John Elway, Peyton Manning could be the guy for the Broncos too. Let's see here. Which one do I want to do? Oh, I want to do this one. It has to be this, right? Omaha. Would he bark Omaha with the Colts, or was it just with the Broncos? Marvin Harrison. I do like that one quite a bit too. And yeah, Nick was just shouting out too that on Sunday we're gonna have a stream on Twisted Wrister Hockey. That is our hockey channel. You can see a link to that in the description down below. We're going to talk about some of the best jerseys we've seen in the past several years, and a bunch of hockey content creators will join me for that. So go check that out. That's Sunday at what now? 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. There we go. There's the sheriff. All right. There he is. Awesome. Hey, nice looking list, guys. That looks great. All right. What division should we do next? You guys let me know. Shout out the division we should do next. In the meantime, I'm going to use the restroom and I'll play a trailer for one of our videos on this channel. So here we go. We're going to do, how about Bill Romanowski? This is the trailer for our Bill Romanowski video. You can watch that when you're all done here. This is Bill Romanowski.
Oh, he took a good shot.
This is a 16-year NFL veteran. This is a 2-time Pro Bowl linebacker.
Broken up and intercepted.
This is a 4-time Super Bowl champion. And this is a man so obsessed with his profession that he will go to appalling, disgusting lengths to play another down. Look into the guy's eyes and what you see is psycho. What you see is a guy who's so wound up he might snap at any time for the most minuscule of reasons. What you see is a wild enthusiasm. Oakley dokley. All right. Good girl. All right. So let's see here. West, north, east, east. Saw my videos? Yeah. Yeah, he was a crazy guy. All right. So it looks like we're going to go with the, oh, shoot. West or east? Oh, boy. What do you think, Cortana? Here, you know what we're going to do? Cortana's going to decide for us. Very important moment here on the stream. All right. All right, Cortana. Should we do the West divisions or should we do the East divisions? All right. We're going to do the East divisions. John, what's going on? Thanks for hopping in here. Let's do the East, all right? We can do the West, and then we'll finish off with the North because that's really what it boils down to. All right. Let's see here. AFC West. Okay. Let's do the AFC West. We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills. So let me know in the chat here. Who would you like to? Oh, cute dog. Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, this is Cortana, best friend on the face of this earth. All right, so for the Buffalo Bills, let me know your thoughts here. 3 names that came to mind, actually maybe 4. First of all, Jim Kelly, of course. Not to mention, I mean, what he's meant to the franchise, even after his career, right? In his battles with cancer. For better and for worse, of course, O.J. Simpson. But you can't forget somebody else in the backfield for them. Thurman Thomas was still a great player as I got into watching the NFL. And don't forget, I believe he's still second all-time in sacks, Bruce Smith. He didn't play his whole career in Buffalo, but he still had a very lengthy career over there. The Piculas haven't had the most success as working with Buffalo, the Sabres. But that could change this upcoming year. Rest in peace, of course, to the GOAT, Rick Jeanneret. Josh Allen? Yeah, Josh Allen could be in there too. I'll put Josh Allen in there. Why not? All right. So I'll run a poll. All right. Jim Kelly, put in Josh Allen. I can't not put in Bruce Smith. And this is iconic, but he's infamous, but how could I not have OJ Simpson in there? Bruce Smith, yeah. Yeah, Bruce Smith had one hell of a career. All right, girl. So cast your vote. Oh, sorry. I spat that one too. I launched that one way too far for you, girl. All right. 8 votes. Juice all the way. All right. All right. We're going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Jim Kelly. Hey, I think that pretty much all of those would have been good picks. So now we get a photo of Kelly. Just want to see if there's one that really jumps out at me, but these are all good. Yeah, we'll go with this one. That's okay. Yeah, this one's a little bit better, actually. So then add him to the list over here. I'm going to ungroup this. All right, there we go. Oh, shoot. You know what I didn't do? I didn't name our players up here. I'll take care of that during our next poll. All right. Efficiency is the name of the game here. Oh, shoot. No. That's not what I wanted. No, that's not what I wanted, friend. All right. Let's try that again. I'm doing this with a trackpad. Don't have enough USB-C ports. All right. Boom. Jim Kelly. There he is. Look at that. Look at that swagger. Look at that poise. There we go. Well, can't really get the ball in here now, can I? There it is. That should be good enough. Wait, actually, I got to drag that in. I am a perfectionist at times. So pardon me. While I burst into flames. Here we go. And let's do that. And there we go. Clipping mask. Perfect. There he is. Peyton Manning for the Colts. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay. What about the Dolphins? Dolphins are next. Dan Marino, of course. I believe it was NFL Throwback, unbelievable channel, who I think named Dan Marino the best football player all time who never won a Super Bowl. Don't quote me on that, but I remember him being toward the end of their countdown. The other two names, yeah, I thought about the 72 Dolphins with Bob Greasy and Larry Sonka. But again, let me know if you have any ideas for that. While you do that, I'm going to, of course, I'm going to go here. Oops. Let me see here. How can I group these? Oops. Why didn't I? Any other thoughts about the Dolphins, guys? Brunel, Marino. You also watch NFL Throwback? Yeah, how could you not, man? Well, his name's JJ Watt, so I'll just put JJ Watt. And of course, Peyton Manning. Should I just do Omaha? I'll just do that. That'll be fun. All right. Okay, Ray Finkel. I don't even know if I'm familiar with who that is. Oh, Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor. Great call outs. Man, you're helping me out with the defensive players. Okay, so between those two, who would I choose? I don't know. Let's see here. For the Bears, dude, I picked like 7 or 8 players to consider here. So here we go. Let's do the Dolphins. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Dan Marino should be on there. I only get 4 options for this, by the way. I gotta say Larry Sonka has to be on there over Bob Greasy. I hate to leave him out, but I can't not put Jason Taylor or Zach Thomas on this. Even Patrick Surtain should be considered, right? Zach Thomas is from the Ace. Ventura movies. Even Cannibal Corpse was in Ace Ventura. All right, that's what I'm going to roll with here. Well, you know what, Robbie, Strong Arm, it would be it'd be difficult at least for NHL because, I mean, when I make videos for my channel, it's always a real pain trying to find footage from like older days. But yeah, NFL throwback's fantastic, right? So yeah, who are we gonna choose for the Finns? Well, shoot, this one's already unanimous, so we'll go with Dan Marino. Okay. All right, let's see here. That's I appreciate your quick votes on that one. Dan Marino. Let's take a look here. He played his whole career for the Dolphins too, so you gotta show some love for him there. Ooh, this is not a very good photo, is it? No, it's like totally altered. This one, I kind of like that, but it's not very sharp. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's a thing of beauty. All right. Dan Marino. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Glorious. All right. All right. While I'm doing this, guys, do you have any ideas for the New York Jets? I'll throw a couple your way. Oops. So we got Kelly Marino, Rams. Yeah, I know, John. All right. Who should we choose for the Jets? Now, of course, Broadway Joe Namath is certainly the first one who comes to mind because he won the Super Bowl with them and just he was an icon, man. Like smoking cigars and hanging out at the pool and asking Susie Kohlberg if he could give her a kiss on the cheek. Curtis Martin, an incredible running back, toward the top of the charts in yards all time. Long career for a running back. John Abraham was one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the era of football I grew up in as well. Those are the three names I came up with. But let me know if you have any other ideas. Zach Wilson, Brett Favre, Joe Namath, Darrelle Revis. That's a good one. Maybe I didn't think about Revis as much because he bounced around so frequently afterwards. Butt fumble, Mark Sanchez. Well, this is iconic, so I might have to throw him in there. Oh boy, all the Jets fans. A lot of them showed up in my cursed teams video. I do think they make a strong case. I do think they make a strong case. So anyway, Joe Namath. We're gonna put in. I can't not put in Curtis Martin. Darrelle Revis is easily going to make this list. So nice suggestion there, Justin. And let's put in. You know what? I'm gonna put in freaking. I put in Mark Sanchez. I mean, the dude took him to what, 2 or 3 AFC title games? Aaron Rodgers to the playoffs. You playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I don't know. It's a tough division to crack, man. It's a tough division to crack. So let me know. Oh, yeah, if everybody can vote, that's the best way to represent our community of viewers here. Oh my God. All the Jets fans are going to unsubscribe from this channel, aren't they? Maybe they'll have a chuckle. That's okay. We got to make sure we have fun, even if it's at somebody's expense once in a while. As long as we don't kick them in the nuts. Just ram them in the butt. Okay, well, let's close this out. Cast your vote if you haven't already. I'm going to close this in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wowee. Nick, once again, dude, you devise ideas that would never materialized in my brain. So wonderfully done. Mark Sanchez, but fumble. And there we are, baby. Oh Lord. That is just cruel. So freaking cruel. And actually, let's see here. Is there a better resolution here? It's about the same. Oh boy. Oh freaking boy. Oh my goodness. Oh, so heinous. Most non-triumphant. And yet, the plight of the Jets fan. There it is. Poor guy. All right. Make clipping mask, and there we are. Okay. And guys, we're just gonna skip ahead here because come on, is there anybody else in the stratosphere of Tom Brady? And Gronkowski, of course, would be an honorable mention. Ty Law, my favorite cornerback of that era, was unbelievable, of course. Let's see, what do I want to do with Tom Brady? Should we show him losing the perfect season? Nah, I would never. We got to go with that. He's the freaking GOAT. All right, so New England, Brady. All right. Dean, what's going on? How you doing, dude? Oh, we'll get to oh no, we're doing the West right or the East right now, then we'll get to the West divisions. So anyway, it like how do you choose anybody else? But of course, Tom Brady. So we've wrapped that up. There we go. Let me just type in the player names as well. There we go. So this is going to be on group. Jim Kelly and Marino. It's all quarterbacks though, so we might have to think outside the box a little bit. And then GOAT. There we go. All right. What are we doing here? Most iconic player for each NFL team. Excuse me. Remember how we did that for the NHL? All right. So now we get to the okay. Now we get to the NFC East. So we're going to start with who should we choose for the Redskins / Commanders? So we can, obviously it's fine if you stretch back a few. Teddy Bruschi, Riley. I love Teddy Bruschi. Fantastic. Willie McGinnis too. Sam Adams, the keg. RG3. Okay. RG3. Sean Taylor, rest in peace, of course. He could be in that conversation. Sammy Baugh, if you want to go real old school. Certainly one of the ultimate quarterbacks of that era. Doug Williams, I thought about him as well. In more recent times, I don't know, Clinton Portis? Albert Hainsworth? Darrell Green, one of the fantastic cornerbacks. We can't keep him off the list either. John Riggins, right? Joe Theismann. Gotta be Riggins. Okay. All right. This is a little tough because I'm not completely sold on one versus the other. So this is going to come down to the poll here. All right. So we're going to go with John Riggins. I just like the name Riggins. It was John Riggins, right? Not like something else Riggins. We'll go with Sean Taylor. Art Monk, that's a great pick too. Joe Theismann, though, I have to put him on there. Shoot, Art Monk, RG3. I just don't know if he was great when he first burst on the scene. He could have been something, but anyway. John Riggins, Joe Theismann. Yeah, I got to put Sammy Baugh on here though. If we're gonna, right? I mean, how many seasons did Baugh play for them? He played for the Washington franchise, his whole career. I mean, that's pretty damn good. 6 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros. Sammy Baugh is going to be on here as well. So here's my final 4 for the Commanders/Redskins. And yeah, I hate to leave off Darrell Green, but since we have Sean Taylor on there, we do have somebody in the secondary. So yeah, cast your vote here, and then we'll do the Giants after that. I have a feeling who we'll select, but there are some great names, of course. Not enough years for RG3. Yeah, that's kind of where my thoughts are. But yeah, that was a hell of a rookie season he had. Back in the day of the pistol formation. Alex Smith. Maybe it was not enough years in Washington so much. But yeah, I mean, kind of one of the forgotten quarterbacks of the era. There was a fantastic, I should just say fantastic documentary on his leg injury. Doug Williams. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I'm leaving him off there. I could certainly be criticized for that. How many divisions? We've just done the Southern Division so far. And, of course, the AFC East just now. So, yeah, everybody cast a vote here. He was the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Dan Snyder. Well, we're just focusing on players. We're not executives or coaches. I mean, if we're talking about infamous, right? All right, I got 10 votes. Let's cast your vote if you haven't already. I'm going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that was close, and I'm not surprised. So we're going to go with Joe Theismann. Okay, that with 2 N's, excuse me. All right, let's go. I don't want to, show him being injured because that's just not right. Is there higher resolution here? Come on, we need some high res. There we go. Theismann. Beautiful. Okay. All right, while I'm doing that, who's Cortana's favorite player? Oh boy. Hi girl. I don't know. I'm trying to find a funny pun to infuse here, but I'm not entirely sure. Who should we choose for the New York Giants? So start shouting out some names. Giants are next. The New York Football Giants. All right, so here we have Washington, and that's Theismann. There he is. Let's actually, make this a little bit larger. There we go. Give him a more glorious shot here. All right, that gets dragged down, and here we are. Sweet. All right. Michael Strahan, absolutely got to consider him. Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor, Eli Manning. All of those are great. Frank Gifford, if you want to stretch back decades and decades. I was a big fan of Tiki Barber. I don't think he quite makes the list, but I'm surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame. He had over 10,000 yards rushing in a decade, and he also had over 5,000 yards receiving. But yeah, I think that Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan, Eli Manning and Phil Simms, I'm good with that. Saquon Barkley, yeah. I mean, in a couple of years, he could certainly be a part of that as well. You think of LaDainian Tomlinson. Yeah, that makes sense given when you were born. Rondé Barber was on the Buccaneers, his twin brother. All right. So let's do New York Giants. So Lawrence Taylor. David Tyree made the helmet catch. Yeah. I mean, if they had not won a Super Bowl until then yeah, maybe I put him on here. Plaxico Burress. Nice. All right. So we're going to go Eli Manning will be another choice besides Lawrence Taylor. We've also got Michael Strahan. Great pick. And I'll put Frank Gifford on here because I can't not put him on there because somebody of my dad's generation would probably say Frank Gifford. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. You read a book about the Barbers? Yeah, Rondé's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm just surprised Tiki's not quite there. Cortana's just like, you know what? I've been sitting here long enough. Give me treats. Y.A. Tittle? Yeah. Actually, Tittle has he had a real estate. Was it a real estate or a law firm in downtown San Jose? I used to drive by that sometimes. Yeah, I think it was a law firm. Jason Pierre-Paul, yeah, I mean, he's got to be there. Who was the other great lineman they had in that time as well? Didn't his last name start with an O? I can't remember. Are we really going to go with Eli Manning over Lawrence Taylor? Cortana, not now, honey. No bothering me when we're on the stream here. It's not like we didn't exercise a couple times today. All right, guys, shoot. Is it going to be Eli Manning? All right, we're going to close this out. So cast your vote if you haven't done so already. I'm closing it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, Dean. There's a little bit more of a recency bias here. I hear you. But I gotta do what the people say here. Because I would also say it's probably Lawrence Taylor, but it's not about me. Let's see here. Did you guys see that one that prank that he pulled, right? Where he was he went to a college football, or he like went to a college program and tried out for them. That was pretty damn funny, I gotta say. Wow. All right. Let's see here. God, because I used to kind of like the Chargers when I was in high school, and when Manning didn't want to go there, I was like, screw this guy. Who does he think he is? All right. Let's do this. Wait. Oh, excuse me. Oh, whoa. Hold on now. Hold on, friend. Here we go. There we go. All right, guys. Who should we nominate for the Cowboys? So for the Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman, Deion Sanders. Although, again, I think he played more games with the Falcons than he did with the Cowboys. But he was still, of course, maybe the most dynamic cornerback ever, or at least of that era. Before these guys, don't forget about Roger Staubach, who, of course, quarterbacked them to a couple Super Bowl wins in the 70s. And then Emmitt Smith. He's only the all-time rushing leader in NFL history, and that's a record that will never, ever be broken. I'm pretty damn convinced. Although, yeah, he did play for the Cardinals for a couple of years. Tony Dorsett, good pick. Michael Irvin. It's Irvin, right? It's not Irving, right? I don't know why. Irvin, yeah. Or Romo, Jason Witten. That's a good pick too. Roger Staubach, DeMarcus Ware. No, well, I mean, he was a Cowboy for most of his career, and I mean, absolutely dominant, right? Along with kind of like JJ Watt. All right, how do I make this 4 finalists? This is too difficult. All right. I can't not put primetime on there. Because that guy had the swagger and then some. Emmitt Smith makes it on there because of the record. Roger Staubach, if we're gonna provide a range of votes, I got to put Roger Staubach on there. And who's our 4th guy? This is too difficult. If I had like 17 different options, this would be a little bit easier. I'm going to say my fourth player here, Michael Irvin was pretty damn great. I'd put him over somebody like Romo or Witten. So here are your four choices. Prime time. I don't even have Troy Aikman on here. By the way, guys, I mean, look at this. This is only quarterbacks that we have so far. We gotta mix it up a little bit, don't we? Besides Troy Aikman, did he have the swagger? Did he have that Tom Brady swagger? Not quite. Yeah. That's a lot of quarterbacks. How many non-quarterbacks do we have here? Watt and Steve Smith and Warren Sapp. Okay, see, this is a little bit better here. But hey, it's all about you guys. So, all right, got most of everybody's votes. All right, so cast your vote if you haven't done so already. I'm going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, Emmitt Smith. Okay, there we go. I think that's fair, right? Because I mean, he did something that, you know, he has a record that no Dallas Cowboy necessarily will ever be able to, you know, the magnitude of the record is incredible. Not to mention, actually, I like this. This is a cool photo. With Emmitt Smith, he if it weren't for the Herschel Walker trade, I said Sith. That's funny. If it weren't for the Herschel Walker trade, then you know he probably wouldn't have been a Cowboy. All right, what's with Mark Sanchez? Windy City Hockey wanted to put him on there. It was hilarious, and you know, like I said, I'm giving the people what they want. All right, let's see here. We got that. Hold tight, guys. And clipping mask. All right. And now we've got the for the Eagles. Who do you guys want for the Eagles? The names that came to mind, if we want to stretch all the way back, maybe the most dominant Eagle of all time was Chuck Badnarik. Badnarik? I don't know how to say his last name. Chuck Badnarik. I don't know anything about him because this is back in like the 1930s, but look him up. The guy I zeroed in on is Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins was, I mean, he is the only player in NFL history to, in one game, have a sack, an interception, recover a fumble, and catch a pass for a touchdown. I don't know if anybody will ever do that again. Not to mention, he had that like Ray Lewis swagger to him. So my pick is Brian Dawkins. Yeah, Reggie White, of course. Randall Cunningham. And Donovan McNabb would certainly be among the choices as well. Eric Allen, McNabb, or Foles. Interesting, because he wasn't even the starting quarterback that year, right? Until, of course, the Super Bowl. All right. So let's see here. Let's go with. I'm still going to put Chuck Bednarik on here. Cunningham is more known for his Vikings run. I mean, yeah, he was a great quarterback for the Eagles, but so was McNabb. So it's kind of like there isn't one or the other who's so much better than the other, I would think. Eagles. Put Brian Dawkins on here. I'll put Reggie White on there because he was that amazing, even though he played most of his career with the Packers. Do a video on the butt fumble. You know what? I'm going to write that down. That's a great suggestion. Now, I'm a little bit I would think that somebody else has made a video breaking it down, but I wouldn't. I'm going to take a look at that. So thank you, Riley. That's a great suggestion. All right, so Eric Allen would also be another one. Brian Dawkins, Harold Carmichael. I don't even know who that is. Katie's burner. That probably was when I wasn't watching football, I guess. Uh LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, he was pretty damn awesome too. Shoot. I don't know. I'll put Donovan McNabb on here. All right. So here are our 4 choices. Again, sorry if I didn't get everybody, but we only have 4 choices that we can do for this. Josh Perry went to your high school. Oh, Bill Romanowski. Yeah. It's funny. I almost thought about throwing in Romanowski for the Raiders, even though he only played a couple seasons there. All right. You all vote, cast your vote there. I'm going to just update some names here. So we have, of course, Joe Theismann, Eli Manning. We have Emmett Smith. And we have somebody else coming in just a little bit here. He was on this. Oh, interesting. I didn't know. I totally forgot that like John Madden was the actual player. All right, guys. So cast a vote if you haven't already. I'm going to count down here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really? All right. All right. If you say so, we'll go with Donovan McNabb. Couldn't Brady and Gronk be choices for the Bucks? True, but I mean, when you think of the Bucks, first, I mean, if you want to talk about dominance for a lengthy period of time, you would look at the Bucks from the late 90s into the early 2000s for sure. Because they did things that had not been done in a while in the NFL. All right, so we've got Philadelphia, McNabb. By the way, speaking of McNabb, Cortana is actually part McNabb Shepherd. There's your fun fact for the day. All right. How you doing there, baby girl? Here, how about we give Cortana an apple for that? Here, can you face the people? Oh, sorry. All right, there we go. All right, let's get McNabb on here. Philadelphia, McNabb. All right. So here he is in his glory. And we're going to move this down here. All right, so we're halfway done. Shoot, why is this freezing on me? There we go. Oops. And clipping mask. And there we go. D. McNabb. On Super Bowl, though. All right. Do the West next? Yeah, we'll do the West next. Thanks, Ethan. Have a good night, good sir. We'll see you again real soon. Brian Mitchell. Oh, shoot. I wish I even knew who that was. All right. We're going to go with the AFC West. We're going to start with the Denver Broncos. All right. With the Broncos, here are some names that came to mind. Of course, John Elway winning those 2 Super Bowls at the end of his career. And that's pretty much it. Of course, you could throw Manning on here maybe. Rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas. I wouldn't consider him necessarily one of the foremost iconic. But yeah, Terrell Davis, the Mile High Salute, Steve Atwater, Shannon Sharp, Von Miller, right? John Elway, Shannon Sharp, Steve Atwater, Terrell Davis, yeah. Tim Tebow, Rod Smith, yeah. Ed McCaffrey on the other side of the ball, Von Miller, or on the other side of the line of scrimmage, I guess. Let's ride. Your pick is Von Miller. Damn. All right. Good picks, guys. Shoot. Shannon Sharp has to get on this list because of his trash talk. No. We already did the butt fumble. No, we're not doing Tim Tebow. A bolt of lightning is going to hit me from the sky for saying that. Shannon Sharp, John Elway, Clinton Portis. I mean, I think if he would have stayed there, then yeah, he could certainly make this list. I'm going to put DeMarcus Ware. Again, more of a cowboy though. So I would think that if we're talking about pass rusher, Von Miller's the first guy. And you know what? We're going to give it up for Steve Atwater. Terrell Davis would be right up there too, but Steve Atwater, a fantastic player for a lengthy period of his career as well. So that's going to be my final four for the Denver Broncos. And apologies for anybody that we missed here. Yeah, he spent a lot of time in Washington. He did win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Tied for third that year was David Carr with the Houston Texans. That is the subject for our next video on Sudden Death Sports. I'll see you around for that. So yes, please cast your votes. And then we got the Chiefs. Ooh, who we're going to pick for the Chiefs? That's going to be intriguing, huh? Yeah, how many seasons did DeMarcus Ware spend over there? Don't forget, John Lynch even finished his career there. Shoot, we didn't even talk about him with Tampa Bay. I still wouldn't have him at the top, but John Lynch was a nightmare in the secondary. He would just pummel you. Let's see here. DeMarcus Ware, he's already in the Hall of Fame. That's great. 4-time All-Pro. He played just 3 seasons in Denver, but of course he got a Super Bowl ring, which was awesome. If as a player, maybe so, John. Yeah, maybe we can dive into that at some point. All right, let's close this out, guys. Cast your vote if you haven't already, because I'm going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. All right, so we're going to go with John Elway, and I think that's the right answer. Von Miller might be second on my list, though. He'd be right up there. Shannon Sharp would be up there. But yeah, John Elway. Oh, I have to do the helicopter. We have to do the helicopter run. This to me is, if we talked about my favorite 10 plays I've ever seen in NFL history, this would be one of my favorite 10. Because he charged in there. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's great. This will look okay. Size down, right? He goes in there head first, and he gets spun in the air by a couple Packers defenders. And then they punch it in after that. That was a gutsy play that he made there. I think he was 37 or 38 years old at that time. And the Broncos won their first Super Bowl after losing 4. Jeez Louise, I wonder what that's going to feel like. Actually winning a Super Bowl for a change. I got to do that, though, because let's see here. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, we want to definitely do that one. Now, John Elway, of course, he played a majority of his career in the classic Broncos uniforms, but this one I have to do like this. There's no excuse. All right. Or I could do, the drive where he went 98 yards in the playoffs, which is amazing in its own right. Group that. But yeah, this to me is the most memorable from my time as a football fan. Plus, look at that game face on him. Look at this game face. Bam. Gamer. All right. Who should we choose for the Chiefs? Now, yeah, I think Mahomes absolutely has to belong on this list. But yeah, to echo Justin, to echo Justin, I still might choose Derek Thomas. Rest in peace. I remember seeing him record 5 or 6 sacks in a game on primetime as an outside linebacker. That was unheard of back then. He was incredible. Best at that position, I think, bar none, right? Or at least right up there. Yeah. Travis Kelce should certainly be in the mix as well. Tony Gonzalez, maybe the best tight end of all time, right? Dawson, that's Len Dobson. Jamal Charles, whose career was probably cut a little short, could have been right up there with the LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson is the best running back of that era. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Yeah, I would probably consider him if he had played more of his career there, but he is iconic, right? Priest Holmes was incredible too. Neil Smith. Yeah, Neil Smith was rocking. Marcus Allen. We'll save him for later, I think, this time. Dante Hall. Oh, you're right. Okay, Google user. I'm sold. I'm going to put Dante Hall in our top 4. This is my bias as a somebody who grew up in that era. But Dante Hall, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Thomas, no doubt. Neil Smith or Travis Kelsey, or Tony Gonzalez. Excuse me. Yeah, this is a little bit of a love letter to the era I grew up watching, to be honest. But yeah, I think this is a solid list. And whoever you guys choose, I'll be stoked no matter who you choose. Gonzalez as a Falcon, yeah. I mean, he was great as a Falcon too. Mahomes sounds like Kermit. I mean, it's going to be hard to find another player in the NFL who sounds more like him. But yeah, cast them votes. I will be stoked with whoever you guys end up choosing here. And then we've got the Chargers. All right, I think we have just about everybody's votes, but cast a vote if you've yet to do so. I'm going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, Mahomes, totally fine. If it were a tie, though, I would get the tiebreaker because I can't vote myself, and I would have chosen Derek Thomas. But this is totally fine because, like 2 years from now, Mahomes would replace Thomas for me. Let's see here. Which one do you want to do? Let's find a good photo for him. Just nothing featuring his brother. There we go. I like this one. All right. Kansas City, Mahomes. All right. Oh boy. Let's see here. There we go. Here's Mahomes. Yeah. There's no one better for this, eh? And Mahomes has made it. Okay. All right, guys. What about the Chargers? So, of course, I got to give it up for my favorite player of all time, not on my favorite team, LaDainian Tomlinson. God dang. What an amazing dual threat he was. Junior Seau, rest in peace. I think that they're right neck and neck. Incredible player. Again, right with Derek Thomas as the best outside linebacker of that era. Philip Rivers, you could consider him, but he never went to a Super Bowl. I can't quite put him in the same category as the other two. Dan Fouts, Marcellus Wiley was on that team for a little while. I know I'm missing one or two other players I should be able to name off the top of my head. What about Darren Sproles, right? He didn't play his whole career over there, but a fantastic kind of gadgety backfield weapon. Who's somebody else I'm missing off the top of my head here? And of course, they had Antonio Gates, who after Tony Gonzalez, it was without question the best tight end of his era. Gil Bird. Yeah, I think that was before my time. God's butt monkey. All right, then. Drew Brees, Ryan Leaf. Yeah, man, this is tough, dude. Manti Te'o. Oh boy. All right. So let me throw this out there. Come on, Chargers. All right, LaDainian. I gotta make sure I capitalize the D. LaDainian. Eat your chunky soup, Tomlinson. Junior Seau. I should just make it those two. I want to put Antonio Gates on here though. There was a cornerback I'm forgetting, right? Bill Bird. I mean, if I haven't heard of him, is he really that iconic? Like that's just a rhetorical question. I'm gonna keep it at those three players. I can't. I know I'm missing somebody else. I'm sorry, whoever I'm missing. But yeah, I'm going to go with those three. So cast yo votes. Yeah, I mean, if I had like Kellen Winslow, damn, that was a good one too. I mean, obviously he was before my time. Antonio Gates, second coming of Kellen Winslow. But yeah, cast your vote if you've yet to do so. Oh, the Raiders is going to be tough. This one's going to be tough. I've got a lot of names, I think. All right. Any further thoughts on the Chargers, guys? All right. Well, I want to keep things moving here. So cast your vote. If you haven't done so, I'm going to count this down in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. All right, LT it is. And I mean, he would have my vote, although I would have been happy with Seau as well. It's LaDainian Tomlinson. Do you get any more rocking? Oh my God. Look at this one here. I love that. Now, when I think of Tomlinson, I think of this right here, or the stiff arm. Actually, oh, that is poetry. That's poetry. Or we could go with a stiff arm, because LaDainian Tomlinson threw a better stiff arm than anybody else. I mean, look at this, right? That's amazing. I don't know if we'll get. I don't know how that's going to look, but that to me, that's LaDainian Tomlinson in a nutshell, wearing that specific uniform too. But yeah, easily my favorite player, never on my favorite team. Maybe my favorite player of all time, straight up. It's just a shame he couldn't get a Super Bowl ring. All right. Boom. Look at that, dude. Look at that monster. Hell yeah. Here, we're going to just lock that for just a second. And then we're going to take this. Oops. Move this down. Bam. Tomlinson. All right, guys. Now we've got the Oakland Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders. So for the Raiders, I'm gonna throw out a few names, but again, I can't make a definitive call. You know who needs to get considered here is Bo Jackson. What could have been, right? Howie Long, a menace on the line, of course, for many years, and several All Pros, of course, and a Hall of Famer. Marcus Allen, Ken Stabler, Jim Plunkett, Charles Woodson, Tim Brown. Shoot, who else am I missing? Like I said, I think Bill Romanowski was iconic in the sense that even though he was only there for like 3 or 4 seasons, there's like nobody who embodies the Raiders better than Bill Romanowski. Ray Guy, Bo Jackson, Ken Stabler, Sebastian Janikowski, John Madden. Well, I mean, if we could choose like coaches or executives, absolutely, right? But we're only going with players here. Ray Guy. Okay, let me look up Ray Guy because I know that somebody mentioned somebody I hadn't heard of before. So again, my football knowledge is mostly in the mid 90s up until about 2010 or 2015. But Ray Guy was a 3-time All-Pro punter, 7-time Pro Bowler. Art Shell, Derek Carr. Oh, Art Shell. I thought about him as a coach, but yeah, as a tackle, 8-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro. Good call. Shoot. Dang, who do we choose here, guys? All right. Shoot. All right. I'm going to say one of them, the only punter in the Hall of Fame. Okay. You've got my vote then. Ray Guy is going to make it on there. And Derek Carr's made 4 Pro Bowls, I want to say. I'm going to say Ray Guy is going to be one of them. I got to say Bo Jackson has to be one. in terms of the iconic significance, not necessarily to the Raiders as much as the NFL altogether. But without Bo Jackson, who knows? Maybe Ice Cube wouldn't have been rocking a hat for all his videos. Then we have shoot, man. Ken Stabler or Jim Plunkett? Sebastian Janikowski? Is he in the Hall of Fame? No, he's not in the Hall of Fame. He only made one Pro Bowl. I want to put him on there, but I can't do that if we've got Ray Guy on here already. Well, yeah, I mean, again, if we had coaches, Madden would be the guy. Shoot, man. Who else do we narrow it down to? Ken Stabler or Jim Plunkett? Who would we choose between the two of them, right? Ken Stabler was there for 8 years, and he won at least a Super Bowl with them, right? He won the Super Bowl MVP. Or actually, he won 2 Super Bowls. Or, dang, dude. Yeah, who do we go with here? Ken Stabler, he played 10 years in Oakland. Offense and defense. Well, who are we going to choose? I'm going to put Charles Woodson then. If we're going to do defense, is Charles Woodson their great? No, Howie Long. Excuse me, Howie Long. Howie Long gets on there. Absolutely. Ken Stabler. Okay. All right, fine. This is who I'm going with. I'm sorry if I'm sliding somebody, because it's like I feel crazy not putting Marcus Allen on there, or even what was his name? Even the tackle that was mentioned earlier. Yeah, I had to put Howie Long on there. That's who I think. Like Raiders, I think of him and I think of Marcus Allen. Raiders have too many. Yeah, wait till, because I know Nick was chiming in a moment ago, like about the Bears. I'll be able to put Ditka on the Bears. Absolutely, that's fine. But the Bears have too many good ones as well. Art Shell, yeah. But yeah, if we can get as many votes as possible, then that even further legitimizes the community's choice here. So yeah, cast a vote if you've yet to do so. And then we'll get into the NFC West. You think the Bears is easy? Interesting. Because I thought it was interesting at first, and then I was like, holy crap. I have no idea. Dun 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 dun. Have you all cast a vote in our poll? Time to give Cortana a piece of apple. All right. Plunkett won 2, Stabler won 1, but he had the MVP. Yeah. It's basically a wash at that point. All right, let's close this out. Cast your vote if you haven't already, because I'm going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to go with Bo Jackson. I mean, hey, your best pick is as good as mine. I probably would have gone with Howie Long myself, but by millimeters, right? Oh, Bo Jackson Raiders. We want to get some good photos here. Dang, dude, that's a beautiful, beautiful photo. Look at that. All right. Hang tight, guys. Actually, here, while I do this, who would you choose for the Arizona Cardinals? Now that could stretch all the way back to like Chicago. I'm going to give you a few names for the Cardinals while you think here. But the names that came to mind for me were Larry Fitzgerald, Simeon Rice, although he played more for Tampa, but he was incredible in both places. Aeneas Williams, amazing longevity in the NFL, in the secondary. I think he was a safety. Pat Tillman as well needs consideration. Rest in peace, of course, because he quit. He retired from the NFL so he could serve his country and was killed in action, unfortunately. But yeah, Anquan Bolden would be right up there too. Not just a great receiver, but also a great personality. So those are the names that came to mind. So you guys let me know what you think there, and I'm going to work on this in the meantime. Wait, LVR or wait, LAS? I don't know. Jackson. Sorry, Mr. Jackson. All right, let's go with Bo Bo Jackson, man. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful image. All right. Kind of sucks not putting in Marcus Allen when I have Jackson who played way fewer seasons, but whatever. Talking about iconic. And it's not that he isn't, that's for sure. I'll put LT on here. Patrick Mahomes. Perfect. All right. So who do you think we should have in here? Dan Deerdorf. That's a great one. Jake the Snake. Adrian Morel. Oh, really? Neil Lomax? I don't know, man. Nice, John. Conrad Dobler. All right. So I'm going to put in here, I'm going to do Dan Deerdorf has to be on there. Is it Deerdorf or Deerdorf? Why did I think there was a second R in there? Yeah, Dan Deerdorf, Hall of Famer, 6-time Pro Bowl, 3-time All Pro. But that was with the Cardinals before they moved to Arizona. But I think we need to put him in there. Neil Lomax is old school. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to do this. All right, so Cardinals. Oh boy, put in Dan Deerdorf. He should be on there. Larry Fitzgerald. Let's see here. Neil Lomax. Let me search him up here. Oh, he played in the 80s mostly. 2-time Pro Bowler. Oh, Lake Oswego. I had a friend in college from there. 2-time Pro Bowl though, as a quarterback. I would almost say that Kurt Warner should be on this list if we put him on there. Not to say that that's a bad pick. We need ideas. I got to put in Pat Tillman. I just can't. He's a San Jose native, so not far from where I grew up. Conrad Dobler. Let's see here. Let me just pull up his information. 3-time Pro Bowler at guard. Didn't play. He played like what 6 years with the Cardinals. I'm gonna put in instead. Simeon Rice should be in there, or Aeneas Williams. I just got to call an audible there. Warner, yeah, could be in there as well. If Warner had won that Super Bowl, he would have to be in there. But here's who I got. This is my best guess. Thank you though for the suggestions. With Dobler? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm more of an NHL guru at this point than I am with NFL. You can slip a lot by me. I got the 5-hole gaping open here. All right. Yeah, Warner. I mean, Anquan Bolden we could have chosen. Simeon Rice. Bolden, though, didn't play as long in Arizona, nearly as long as Fitz did. Is likely the greatest Arizona sports. My only counter to that, well, yeah, Fitzgerald had the longevity, so I think that you're probably right. Although I want to give it up for fellow Santa Clara Bronco alum Steve Nash, who won 2 MVPs over there, almost had 3. But yeah, Fitzgerald was incredible when you consider the dominance and the longevity. So Kudos. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, Trevor, thanks for hopping in here, man. And hope you're enjoying your birthday festivities. Let's wish Trevor a happy birthday in the T Money. Wish him a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday weekend. Charles Barkley would be up there, of course, too. But did he win any MVPs as a member of the Suns? All right, so let's go with Larry Fitzgerald. I like this, guys. We're getting to some. Oh, this is a great one. We're getting to some. Damn it! Why is this so blurry? It'll be okay though when we size it down. Oh, actually, I like this one. This one's beautiful too. Shoot, that's because Fitzgerald just had countless immaculate plays in his career. I don't know. We'll go with this one. I like this one. All right. All right, let's go with Larry Fitzgerald. Great pick, guys. Yeah, we're going with a few non-quarterbacks, so that's cool. Mix things up a little bit here. There we go. Beautiful. Let's get this clipped in here. Make a clipping mask. There we go. How do you like that, guys? All right, now we get to the Rams. Yeah, Carson Palmer, too. Yeah. Good call out there, Butt Monkey. All right. So here's who I thought about for the Rams. Again, let me know your thoughts. Kurt Warner, of course, especially not just the Super Bowl, but the story of Kurt Warner. He was bagging groceries just before going to the NFL. Eric Dickerson has the all-time single season record for rushing yards. Marshall Faulk, one of the greatest dual threat running backs to ever play the game. Of course, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt could be in that conversation. Orlando Pace, incredible offensive tackle. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a few other ones as well. As for the most, Aaron Donald has to be up there too. Let's not forget, right? Trevor, you are the first member on our group here. So thank you. You are the first Sudden Death Sports member. That's the first out of 3,900. So legend. All right, man. I've been meaning to come up with like some merchandise or something, but I will find a way to bestow upon you some appreciation as a member of Sudden Death Sports. That's awesome. And Cooper Kupp, yeah, he could be on there. Has he played for the Rams long enough? 6 seasons, okay. Oh, he's from Yakima, right on. Yeah, I think he makes a case. But I don't know, man. Torrey Holt did some pretty amazing things as well. Deacon Jones. Oh my God. Yeah. Deacon Jones has to go on here. Todd Gurley could have been. Orlando Pace. I like that one. Chris Everett. Oh, my buddy told me about that. I never heard that. I never listened to that one myself. All right. So what about the Rams? Kurt Warner. Gotta put Marshall on there because even though Dickerson has the record, Marshall Faulk had a couple of Dickerson seasons of his own. Deacon Jones, absolutely, and I'm gonna put in Aaron Donald. That's my top 4. I'm pretty good with those. Kurt Warner out of Northern Iowa. There you go, Sam Bradford. You were going to donate to the Twisted Wrister Fantasy Football League. I don't even know how we're accepting donations. All right. Cast your vote here, guys. Yeah, like I said, I think that I'd be cool with at least 3 of these. So, but I want all the votes we can get. I think everybody already voted. I'll give you about 15 seconds, though. You'll put an asterisk next to your jokes. Okay, cool. It's an actual object. Oh, are we gonna have a Shiva trophy? I would love that. Shoot, I didn't start. You know what I need to consider would be a sudden death fantasy football league. I might have to do that. Shoot. Oh, the Gran Turismo movie was good. I only saw the trailer. I thought it looked pretty damn good too. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let me know, guys, if you want to join a fantasy football league for sudden death. I could possibly set one up. I would think it would be on Yahoo Sports. No money, probably just for fun, but I'm gonna throw that out there. So just hypothetically. All right, so let's get Kurt Warner. That's wonderful, right? Kurt Warner Super Bowl. Um, the one that he won, of course, right? In the classic blue and I want to get this one. No, it's not gonna be formatted all that great though. Oh yeah, they made a film. That's right. I forgot about that. Damn, dude. Is there one of him like celebrating? I don't know. We'll get this one. Legend, man. What is that? Los Angeles Rams, Warner. Oh, it looks like a few people might want to do a fantasy league. Okay. Cool. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, that was the story of Kurt Warner, of course. All right. Oh, guys, this is a fun one. I'm wearing the Seahawks hat because I went to a game there a couple years ago. I live about 5 hours by car from Seattle. I'm not a Seahawks fan myself, but I do like their branding. It's one of the better ones, I think. All right, Warner. Great. Beautiful. All right. And let's see here. So just take that. I'll lock that up for a moment here. Hold on. All right, let's see here. And clipping mask. There we go. Look at that guy. All right. Now, it was a bad movie. I don't know. I'm a sucker for feel good stuff. So who knows? All right. Let's go with the Seahawks. Who should we pick for the Seahawks? I'm going to throw out a few names, but I'm already seeing one on there. And dude, I agree with you. Beast mode is the Seahawks because again, it's iconic, not necessarily the best. Although I think Lynch is a Hall of Famer, no question. But the swagger, it's all about that action, boss. I'm just here so I don't get fined, right? I think it's beast mode. Richard Sherman is right up there. Bobby Wagner still on the team, I think, right? And Steve Largent. Let's not forget about him in eras past. Who was that pass rusher back in the 90s? I forgot about him too. He should get consideration. Russell Wilson obviously should get consideration as well. Those are the Seahawks I'm thinking of. Sean Alexander should get some consideration too. Brian Bosworth. Yeah, I hear you there. Cortez Kennedy. Yeah. Beast. That guy was a terror out there. Absolutely. Kurt Warner. Joey Galloway, Benny Blades, Sean Alexander, Matt Hasselbeck. Sinclair is another good pick as well. Yes, besides Cortez Kennedy. I forgot Sinclair's first name. Shout out to Skip Bayless for building the Warriors of sports with. Oh, Richard Sherman's now on that show. I didn't know. Huh. All right, Trevor. Cool. I'm sure people are gonna dig that for sure. Who knows? Maybe I can find something to donate as well. Right? It'd be cool if the winner got like a commemorative shirt or something like that. I wanted to do a wrestling belt, but apparently those are like several $100s if you want a good one. Walter Jones, I know the name. I know he had a long career for them. But anyway, all right. Let's okay, so we got some. Oh, good. We have like 5 people who are interested in the fantasy football league. Okay, cool. So stay tuned. I would announce that through the community tab specifically. But anyway. All right. So Seattle Seahawks. All right. Marshawn Lynch. Has to be one of them. Richard Sherman, I'll put him over Bobby Wagner. Even though like Cam Chancellor would be in that one as well. I'm going to put in Cortez Kennedy because there needs to be somebody from that era. And my last pick is going to be, shoot, who am I going to choose for this? Marshawn Hasselbeck. I might just go with Russell Wilson for this because he won an MVP with them. All right. I'm sorry for my snubs here. Oh yeah, I forgot Steve Largent. My bad. My bad. Here, I'm gonna close that out. Sorry guys. Let me do one more. I want to get Steve Largent in there. Sorry about that. Here, we'll do that again. All right. Richard Sherman will still be on here. Steve Largent, Russell Wilson, and Marshawn Lynch. Because at the end of the day, I can just make the argument that for the Legion of Boom, there were too many players to choose from. All right, now this is the good one. You prefer Largent over Wilson? I think that's fair. Steve Largent, for those of you who don't know, played from 1976 to 89, all with Seattle. And he ended up with over 13,000 receiving yards. That's magnificent. And he had 100 touchdowns. So he absolutely does earn a spot here as the greatest Seahawks wide receiver ever. Thank God. Thank God I fixed that, huh? Oh, this one's tough. Sherman, the Aaron Andrews interview about Michael Crabtree, yeah. Basically was Jerry Rice before Jerry Rice. And Jerry Rice ended up playing for Seattle briefly. All right, it's getting pretty close here. Oh, shoot. Cast your vote if you haven't already. I'll give you about 10 seconds. Wow, I didn't know that, Butt Monkey. I didn't know he was that dominant. I think of like Art. I thought of like Art Monk for like receiving records. Oh shoot, we have a 3-way tie. Usually you pay double for that action, Cotton. All right. Let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2. So I got to break the tie. All right. This is going to be more recency bias. Although I love that we have somebody from an era before me. Dude, I just can't resist putting Marshawn Lynch as the most iconic Seahawk. Because he is the player of that era. Marketability of him. Like, I want to put this photo in there, but of course that's with the Raiders. All right, what's a good one for Marshawn? That's a good one here at the top. He's grabbing his crotch. I don't know why, but that was him, right? Hell, I don't know. I got to see his face here. I don't know. So many good Marshawn moments. All right. I might have to go with this one. This is as Marshawn Lynch as it gets. Right there. Yeah, that was a great one though. That's the best voting that we've had so far because it's the first time I had to break a tie. Holy God, this one's going to be tough too. It's the 49ers. Because guess what, guys? It's coming down to 2 names, right? Montana or Rice. Maybe the greatest 2 players of all time before Tom Brady, besides Jim Brown. I mean, that's just a simplification, but certainly you could have a conversation like that. Oops. And yeah, like Frank Gore, Alex, you could definitely have Steve Young in there. Terrell Owens, absolutely. Shoot, Ronnie Lott. Actually, I'm going to put Ronnie Lott in there as well. Montana, Rice, Lot. And I know I'm leaving out like 49 other names, but this is it. Oh, it's a reminder for Cortana's medication. Ken Norton Jr. Yeah. What about my aunt actually? Did I tell you this, Dean? That my aunt back in the day was Chris Dahlman's teacher in like middle school. I have a football autograph by him. All right, so we've got Larry Fitzgerald. Oops. Keep those votes coming, guys. I mean, shoot, if we now if we could do kind of like the Raiders, how we were talking about Al Davis and John Madden, if we picked one figure, right? For the Niners, you could argue it's Bill Walsh. Jimmy G. Patrick Willis, yeah. He was dominant. Navarro Bowman. One of my favorites, shout out, Dean, Merton Hanks. The chicken. He was my favorite defensive player back in the day. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, I think we gotta do Montana. As amazing as Jerry Rice was, right? I mean, can you really top the original GOAT, right? Like look at this guy, man. What a champ. All right. I think that's just fine. The chicken neck, exactly, dude. Merton Hanks had the best touchdown celly that didn't involve a Sharpie or a pom-pom. All right, so Montana will be our guy here. You guys are doing fantastic. I hope you're enjoying this. Smash the like if you are. And of course, you can let me know if you have ideas for other videos or streams. But it's good that we have a little bit of interest here. I hope we can top this next time. And who knows, we can do this for NBA at some point. Oh, but yeah, we got one more pair of divisions. So here's what it looks like so far. Actually, you know what? We'll review this at the very end of the stream. So we got the West divisions, and now we get to the AFC and the NFC North. Let's go, baby. Is the new video going to be tomorrow? It will be most likely on Tuesday. So for the time being, I'm targeting the first and the third Tuesday of the month. But not to say that I wouldn't deviate from that. I might do that at some point. A baseball one, yeah, we'll have to probably wait for a little while, but we could do a baseball stream even before the season starts. Okay, let's go with the Baltimore Ravens. So, yeah, somebody just said there has to be Ray Lewis. I've got this narrowed down to 2 names, but please let me know if you have any other suggestions, right? Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. You could also argue Jonathan Ogden, a top 3 offensive lineman in his era. Chris McAllister, I think, is one of the most underrated cornerbacks of that time. Rod Woodson, the Hall of Famer, did play in Baltimore for a little bit. Let's not forget Jamal Lewis in his 2,000-yard season. We could also put in the late, great Tony Siragusa, rest in peace. Sam the Keg Adams on the defensive line. Peter Bulwer, Terrell Suggs, right? Hall of Fame caliber players as well. Kyle Bowler, Justin Tucker, Lamar Jackson. All right. But guys, we got to put this. I'll still put in a third or a fourth one. I'll put in Justin Tucker too, because the guy was clutch AF. So, all right, Riley. Thanks for joining us, man. You were the first one to pop in once we actually hit start. So thank you very much. And I'm glad you had a good time with us. Au revoir. All right, we're going to say Ravens. It's going to be Lewis, Ray Lewis. We'll put in Ed Reed. I'll put in Justin Tucker, and I'll put in one more. And I think that'll be Terrell Suggs. If I had to pick a fourth, I'd probably say Terrell Suggs. Because he was on the 2012 champion team, right? But there we go. All right. Something I totally forgot about until yesterday. Ed Reed was at one point a Houston Texan. Well, hold on a second here, buddy. We got to whoa, hold on now. What's going on? Oh, okay. Woo. Oh wait, no, I don't want to know about Adobe Illustrator. There we go. There we go. All right. Looks like we're going with, of course, Ray Lewis. I want to use the photo that I had in my thumbnail because that's a sweet photo of him. Look at that, dude. Does it get any more Ray Lewis than that? Boom. Just a nightmare. All right. Oh, I accidentally had that group together. Sorry. Layering, right? There he is, Ray Lewis. Did I get Oh, I got to put Montana in here too. Montez. There we go. Much better. All right. So we've got Ray Lewis. All right. Cleveland Browns. Should it be anybody else besides Jim Brown? Rest in peace, of course. To maybe the GOAT. People talk about Brady, of course. But Jim Brown was, before the Super Bowl era, without question, the most dominant player ever. Johnny Football. All right now. Tim Couch. All right, we're going to go, of course, with Jim Brown. Brownie the Elf. Coy Detmer. Come on, what's our best photo? I like this one. But that was him in college, so, right? Let's see here. Do we want to do that one? Sure. It's got good resolution to it. Joe Thomas, yeah. Shout out to Joe Thomas. Not for his play on the field necessarily, even though he was a Pro Bowler, but Peyton Hillis, a big shout out to him for like saving his kid. I think that's what it was. Remember, I'm more of a hockey guy, so I don't know all the off-field stories that well. But of course, how do you not put Jim Brown as the most iconic Cleveland Brown? Oops. Sorry. There we go. Should make a clipping mask from there. There we go, Jim Brown. All right, now guys, this is a tough one. Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. So the Steelers, my pick, it's hard, but I'm going with my pick would be Mean Joe Green. The most iconic commercial ever in NFL history is the Coke commercial with Joe Green, especially with a name like that. But some other players I want to mention: Terry Bradshaw, obviously, Jack Lambert, one of the just like like seriously, there's nobody else I would not want to be tackled by than Jack Lambert. Just looking at the guy. Jerome the Bus Bettis, Troy Polamalu, iconic AF, Mel Blunt, way before my time though, Big Ben, Captain Fat Fuck, and Antonio Brown, right? Le'Veon Bell, you could even put him in there. And I'm missing a ton of other players as well. Wasn't Kevin Green a longtime great over there? Greg Lloyd had a great career. Rod Woodson's one of the greatest cornerbacks ever. So many great names that we're going to leave out of this. Franco Harris too. Exactly. How do I not put Franco Harris has to be on here. He'll be on here no matter what. So Franco Harris, yeah, I'll be sure to put him on there. Paul Amalu, Mel Blunt, Lynn Swan, good call out. Juju Smith Schuster, yeah, exactly. Strong arm. Basically, it might, you know, come on. If you want to chuckle and you like sports, is there anybody else you'd rather watch than Tree? Nah, I've been watching him for like 6 years. All right, so I'm going to narrow this down. Okay. All right, I got to close the Ray Lewis poll. Boswell, yeah, I would think so. Shoot, dude. All right, I'm going to go with. All right, here we go. First of all, Mean Joe Green. That's the only Green who will be on here, though, unfortunately. Franco Harris, absolutely. Neil O'Donnell. All right, I'm just looking something up for my own reference. Oh, Chris Boswell. Anyway, so yeah, Franco Harris, Mean Joe Green. James Harrison, I even left him off of here. Isn't that crazy? I got to say Jack Lambert and Terry Bradshaw. I'm sliding so many great players. I don't know. You know what? Screw this. We're going to put in another defender. Terry Bradshaw is iconic, but not necessarily as much as a player as he is a personality, like after the fact. So, sorry, Bradshaw. I'm going to go Homer here. I'm going to go Jerome Bettis as my other pick. The bus. When he won that Super Bowl, that was tremendous. It's too difficult. This and the Bears are like the two most difficult, and the Raiders. Hines Ward, yeah, right? So difficult. By the way, speaking of great nicknames, you know who else I missed was what was his name? Too Tall Jones? What team did he play for? He played for 15 seasons for the Cowboys. Wow. 3 Pro Bowls. 2 All Pros. Is he in the Hall of Fame? No, actually. That's interesting. Still Heinz Field. Yeah, that's the big ketchup bottle, right? All right, we got 8 votes here. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. The Bus winning it in Detroit, too. Nice, good call out. I remember I was in high school. First of all, the Seahawks really should have won that game. I remember the Steelers were a wild card, and we did a pool this is my senior year of high school, and so we were just drawing teams at random, and so I picked the Steelers. And I'm like, oh crap, like I'm gonna lose. Like this is during the second round, and then I was so happy to win like $35. All right, actually I could go for that right now. All right, let's close this out then. 5, 4, 3, 2, and yes, Nick, you're entirely corrected. Correct. Excuse me. Yeah, John. Polamalu didn't even make it. Easily my favorite defensive player of all time. One of the few players whose jerseys I had back in the day. Do I still have my Polamalu? I don't know if I do. I think I probably threw it out. Not for any personal reasons, but all right. Mean Joe Green. Sipping a Coke. Abso-freaking-lutely. Good call out. Let's go with just want to see if there's a shot I like the most. I like this. Yeah, sure, why not? Seahawks got host. Oh, in that Super Bowl, yeah. What was it again? It was a pass interference, right? That was missed. Oh shoot! Dang it! This was on Twitter. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta take this image. So for whatever reason, since I use like Chrome or like DuckDuckGo, for whatever reason it doesn't download images from Twitter. So I gotta it from a different browser here. I'll use Safari. All right, let's see here. Pitt, Mean Joe. All right, perfect. And let's go here. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I got some pulled pork in the slow cooker. I'm starving, dude. So we'll get this done though. But we got to make sure we do it right. We got some legendary teams here, don't we? Shoot, I gotta get. Let's see if I can get a better image there. There we go. That should work. All right, let's take a look. And oh wait, whoops. I gotta do this first. There we go. And clipping mask. There it is. How about that, guys? Nicely done. All right. And now we've got the Bengals. All right. So for the Bengals, I thought about Joe Burrow. I'm not quite there just yet. If we want to talk about the most iconic, Anthony Munoz is regarded as like the best offensive lineman of all time. And he was one of the first like Latino superstars in the NFL. Boomer Esiason, you could consider. But personally, with my recency bias or with my my era bias, Chad Johnson, dude, Ocho Cinco, and he was an awesome receiver too. So I would say I would be cool with Munoz. My bias would probably move me over to Ocho Cinco. What about Takeo Spikes? He was there for a long time. Did Lofa Tutupu play for them as well? I think so. Andy Dalton. Pass interference and got it. Ken Anderson. Because I don't really remember watching too much Bengals until I was in high school because they were the Bungles, right? But yeah, Ken Anderson won the 1981 MVP of the NFL, and he was a 4-time Pro Bowler. Do I hate the Packers? Oh, before I was a Vikings fan, I was a Packers hater because so my first 3 years as a football fan, I was a Niners fan, growing up in Niners territory, and they had a great rivalry with the Packers even back then. So Carl Pickens, I have a great card of Carl Pickens. It's one of those gold foil ones. Okay. Would we put Ken Anderson ahead of Esiason? Because Esiason won MVP in 1988. And he went to both of them went to Super Bowls, right? Damn, that's basically a toss-up. Corey Dillon's a great pick too, because he had the most rushing yards in a single game. All right. I'm going to put in Anthony Munoz at the top here. And I've got the little tilde there for his name as well. Chad Ocho Cinco. Even though his better years were probably as Chad Johnson. Ken Anderson. And I'm going to have to leave off Corey Dillon in exchange for Ickey Woods. Oh my God, yes. Did he play his whole career there? He only played in 37 games. Does he really belong here though? Or am I just wanting to put him here because he wants to get some cold cuts? Carson Palmer, yeah, he had some great years. Achilles Smith. All right. Woo! I'm gonna get some cold cuts today. All right. Here's who I'm rolling with. Both quarterbacks. From before my time. Ocho and Munoz. We'll do that. Yeah, but you guys have some great call outs. And of course, lots of players who I'm not as familiar with. And Andy Dalton did have a few good years over there. The Red Rifle. Wow, 14-0. Way to go. But AP broke that by like what, 2 yards, I think. God dang it. I can't believe he didn't get like AP almost had, I know they call him AD, but like AP makes more sense to me, but AP almost had 300 yards in that game. He had like 299 and then I think he like lost a yard or something. And of course he got so damn close to Dickerson's Dickerson's single season record. All right. I'll give you about 10 seconds left for anybody who hasn't cast a vote. All right, well, that's good. A birthday victory is always fun. Who do the Vikings play for my birthday this year? Because my birthday is what? Oh, it's the day after, I think. So I get to see the Vikings play. They play the. Oh, they're in Denver. Okay. Ooh, Sunday Night Football. All right, that could be a decent game. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Almost got Munoz in there, but it is Chad Ochocinco. And I mean, if it's not going to be Munoz, of course it's going to be Ocho. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to use a shot of his actual name. This is a crime. All right. But again, I mean, we've really done a good job with getting a good mix of players. Because we really don't have that many receivers on here just yet, do we now? All right. And now to the final division, the NFC North. Or the old Norse division, right? All right. First up, we have the Bears. On our last stream, on another stream, we all said, "Duh, Bears." We were ranking logos. All right, Sweetness, Walter Payton, right? Walter Payton was Sweetness. What was Gale Sayers? I don't know, but yeah, Dean is already saying it right here. So for the Bears, Walter Payton, Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, William the Fridge Perry, Ditka, and Brian Piccolo, who sadly lost his life very early in his career, inspiring the film Brian's Song, which is actually a really good film. Anyway, Richard Dent. I gotta look him up. Richard Dent was also on that Super Bowl winning team. He is a Hall of Famer. Defensive end, went to 4 Pro Bowls. Good call. And played over a decade in Chicago. Excuse me, Chicago. Devin Hester is a good call too. Chris Long. All right. How are we going to do this? Because I think it comes down to a few names here. The Kansas Comet. Okay. Right on. So we're going to say, all right, Walter Payton, Dick Butkus, and Mike Ditka. I can't. Sexy Rexy, nice. With the Bears, and I'll put the Fridge. Because that's iconic as it gets. I think that's the signature 4 if we're talking about players. Ditka, yeah, he was a coach, obviously, but he was also a Hall of Fame tight end, so you can't not have him on the list. Cody Parkey. Nice. All right. Let's see what you guys think. All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna I'll put the names here for our players here. Ray Lewis, Jim Brown, Mean Joe. It's fine. And Ocho Cinco. C. Ocho Cinco. Perfect. Ditko was no more for his career in Dallas. Really? Ooh, yeah, it was pretty split between those two teams. But for the Bears, he played, what was that, 7 years? No, excuse me, 6 years. Over 4,500 yards receiving, though. That's pretty damn good. That's like 900 per season. But yeah, he would have won. Would he have won one of those Super Bowls in Dallas? Hmm. All right. Let's see what you guys came up with. We're gonna go with Walter Payton for this one. Hey, no complaints. Let's go with Walter Payton then. Wait, I already had him on my thumbnail, but that's okay. I want to have him in his Navy uniform. Ooh, that's cool. Do we have like a spin move? I kind of like this one because it's against the Seahawks, but it almost looks like he's juking out Barry Sanders. I don't know though. Walter Payton, yeah, you gotta have the sweatband. All right. Oh, you actually got that one, butt monkey. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think that considering that Ditka was more of a he split time in his playing career. I can see why it's not him that we ultimately choose. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go with sweetness, Walter Payton. A fantastic pick. Bring up just a tidbit here. All right, and clipping mask. There we go. Yeah, and how about this? Oops. Wait, no. The sweetness. There we go. All right. Now we get to the Packers. All right, Grossi, where you at, buddy? All right. So who are we gonna Tom Grossi, yeah. All right. I think this. We look at three quarterbacks, obviously. Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. But in addition to that, Curly Lambeau has to be on the list. Reggie White, the all-time pass rushing leader. He played a long time in Green Bay, despite Philadelphia, and also I think he played for the Panthers. Paul Hornung has to be a consideration, and Don Hutson. So this is reaching back many decades ago. So yeah, I don't know if I can have all three quarterbacks on there, honestly. But for me, I do not leave Brett Favre off this list. Brett Favre, the gunslinger. Seriously. It would be hard not to put Reggie White on this list, Curly Lambeau, and maybe Bart Starr. That might be my final four. But anyway, Jordan Love, Tony. Oh, I don't even know who that is. Donald Driver, Duke and the Driver. Clay Matthews. I mean, fantastic career. Sterling Sharp. That would be a hard one to leave off the list. Leroy Butler invented the Lambeau Leap. Beautifully said. Charles Woodson was fantastic as a Packer. Just not enough longevity. Would be committing a crime if Brett Favre is in his place, or we just name Brett Favre the most iconic Viking. Yeah, but before that, he was what was he doing? Harassing a reporter with the Jets. All right, Packers. Brett Favre. Sorry, Aaron. It's not going to be you. Bart Starr has to be on here. Wait, Bart Starr. Let's see here. How many Pro Bowls did he go to? Bart Starr. Played for 15 years. 4 Pro Bowls and 1 All-Pro. Oh, wow. I thought he would have had more. Interesting. Maybe I'm just completely inflating my thoughts of his accomplishments. You know what? I'm putting Leroy Butler on there. Katie's burner. That's a beautifully crafted comment of yours. Reggie White is going to be on here. And you know what? Curly Lambeau. Curly Lambeau. Come on. How do we not have him on here? That's my top 4. Tom Grossi. Can we make Tom Grossi? I kind of want to, but then again, I'd have to put Tree for the Steelers and just start the chain reaction. Brandon Perna for the Broncos. Ray Nitschke. let's take a look at his played from 58 to 72. He is a Hall of Famer, linebacker, 25 interceptions in 190 games. That is a long time. Five points for the G-Men. Yeah, precisely. Vince Lombardi. Well, I mean, if we talk about like the most iconic quotes in NFL history, Lombardi, what the hell is going on out there? That's got to be at least in the top 10, top 5. You got to see Tom in Tampa. That's so rad. He seems like a pretty cool dude. I love that he almost started his tour in Minnesota. Like that was one of the first cities he went to, and he'd never been there before. So I'm glad that nobody like ate him alive. Not to mention lots of Packers fans in the greater MSP. The Giants should be an easy one. Yeah, I know. All right, any further votes here, guys? We only have 6 out of the 10 that I see who are hanging out here with us. So we'll close this out in about 10 seconds. Cast your vote if you haven't already. All right, I'll catch you later. Detroit is Barry Sanders. All right, do you have a vote for the Vikings? I can proxy your vote. All right, and yes, the Lol Mets. Let's not forget about them. All right, yeah, it's Brett Favre. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I've got no qualms with that at all. All right, Brett Favre. I got to get him in. Let's see here. Let's just not find him throwing an interception in the playoffs. This is pretty damn cool. I like this one. All right, go back to this. Even though it's spelled Favre. All right. Now with the you're gonna choose Adrian Peterson. Interesting. God, I guess that's iconic in more ways than one, huh? All right. La 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 la. Let's go GBP Favre. Yeah, that's cool. You know, he was Brett Favre. I consider like one of my all-time sports nemesis. He's like right at the very top. But dude, I can't deny he was incredible. There it is. Hey, he looks like I do after my morning coffee. All right, now we're gonna go to Barry Sanders or Megatron. Yes, those are gonna be 2 of our finalists. I'll just do that for my other pick, though, Bobby Lane. Bobby Lane was an incredible Hall of Fame quarterback for them, who before the Super Bowl era helped them win, I think, at least 3 championships. So I'm gonna consider him as one of our finalists as well. Matthew Stafford, yeah, big ups to him. I'll put him in here as well. Or let's see here. Lomas Brown. Typing. 85 to 02. Damn, he played 17 years, 7 Pro Bowls. And a majority of that was with the Lions. And he was making his Pro Bowls every time with them, just about. All right, I'll put, you know what? I'm going to consider Herman Moore, good call out. All right, let's see here. Detroit Lions. Yeah, Lane also cursed the team. Yeah, Bobby Lane. Right? I always want to say Night Train Lane, but obviously that's a very different player. All right, we're going to go with Bobby Lane, Barry Sanders, Megatron, and also let's see here. I'll say Lomas Brown, Herman Moore. Yeah, Stafford. He's in the very good Hall of Fame, not the or the Hall of Very Good, I think. I'll say, yeah, Lomas Brown. Let's give him some love. Even though I don't know how iconic he would be. It's kind of hard for an offensive lineman to be iconic. Yeah, everybody cast a vote here. Holy God. They're dueling. They're breakdance fighting. It sucks Calvin Johnson didn't even get close to a Super Bowl. But yeah, he was incredible. And he hung him up at his best, just about. All right. 10 seconds if you've yet to vote. All right. Let's close this out then. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. My friends, yeah, Barry Sanders, I didn't get to see a ton of him, but he's the best running back I ever saw, without question. And I mean, dude, the guy was still at an exceptionally high level. Man, this is cool. He got carried off the field. That's sweet. But I got to see him doing a juke because nobody could shake and bake like Barry Sanders, even if it was against my Minnesota Vikings. What a hell of a player. All right, guys. Now, this one's tough. As you know, of course, I talked about the Minnesota Vikings being the most cursed franchise in NFL history. When you look at their winning percentage, they have the best winning percentage by far of any team that hasn't won a Super Bowl. They have the most playoff wins of any team by far without a Super Bowl. 3 of the top 10 skilled position players, running backs, receivers, and tight ends, 3 of the all-time top 10 in touchdowns are Minnesota Vikings. If you go to NFL Throwback, the great channel on YouTube, that channel was counting down the greatest players who never won a Super Bowl. They talked about 25 or 30 players. I think at least 6 of them were Minnesota Vikings. That's how incredibly gifted this group was, and yet they've never won one. Anyway, all right. You're not a Grossi fan? You're not in the Grossi posse. Huh. Well, if you have your haters, that means you're doing something right. So yeah, who do we go with, guys? I mean, because I'm naming the same names as you. Randy Moss, Fran Tarkenton, Chris Carter. I mean, dude, had the best hands of maybe any receiver to ever play the game. Alan Page, Carl Eller, and Jim Marshall on these Purple People Eaters teams that were, and they had long careers too. And Adrian Peterson, John Randall. I think he's maybe the most iconic defensive player the Vikings have had, even though he wasn't part of the Purple People Eaters. So who the bloody hell do we go with, guys? And that's not even, and Fran Tarkenton. I mean, he wasn't Johnny Unitas, but the dude was an incredible, he was the first incredible dual threat quarterback. Oh, not his joke. Okay. Got it. Tom hates the Vikings, so it'd be funny. All right. So I don't know who to go with, guys. All right. So we have to go with Randy Moss is on my list. And I hate to say it, but he's going to go ahead of Chris Carter, excuse me. Fran Tarkenton goes on my list. An exceptional quarterback, first ballot Hall of Famer probably. I think he won at least one MVP as well. John Randall is as iconic as it gets on defense, and I can't miss somebody on the Purple People Eaters. So guess what? I'm not even picking Adrian Peterson. I'm not even putting him on here. It sucks. But I got to put in Alan Page. I think he's probably the most iconic of those defensive linemen for the Vikings. Or at least he's the best of those 3 by a slim margin. Alan Page, for example, let me just give you this. Shoot. Alan Page played from 67 to 81. 9 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pros. Yeah, I know it's a hot take, dude, because like I obviously got to see Peterson his whole career. Maybe it was the fumbles. Carl Eller, by the way, And then versus Jim, Jim Marshall's not even in the Hall of Fame. 5 All-Pros for Eller, 5 All-Pros for Page. And then Jim Marshall played 19 years. Just a 2-time Pro Bowler, though. But he ended up with a career high of, or a career best, or a career of, 130 and a half sacks. You'd say Jim Marshall? For the longevity, probably so. You might be right. Hard for me not to put Alan Page, though, because he was at his best when they were in those Super Bowls. That to me is just a little bit ahead. But then again, I didn't grow up watching them then. Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains, if he wins a Super Bowl and he comes out, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and he's like rocking a big chain, maybe the handlebar mustache. I don't know. Of being the guy that ran the wrong way. Oh, good point. Good point, Butt Monkey. Do myself for this one? Oh, come on now. Remember, I started off as a 49ers fan, so I don't know. I might be tainted. Yeah, dude, I'm cool with anybody here. It's so crazy. Like, yeah, because we could do a second tier. It'd be like what? Carter, Peterson, Marshall, and Eller. Probably, yeah. That would probably be the other 4. Carter, Peterson, Marshall, Eller. And that's not including like Chris Dolman. That's not including Harrison Smith he's borderline Hall of Fame. Feel bad for the Vikings. Yeah, that was my first season as a fan. I was a fan before they drafted Randy Moss. Like right after the 97 season, I said Vikings are my team now. But you're right, man. That 98, I was like, how? I was this little 11-year-old. Just probably, I don't remember crying, but there's a good chance I cried anyway. The biggest bust for each franchise. That's a great one. I love that one. I'm gonna write that down, Dean. That's fantastic. Oh man, I want to schedule that stream right now. All right, let's close out the Diggs is iconic. Absolutely. What about Ahmad Rashad, the miracle at the Met? That's who caught it, right? Anyway, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I've got just the right Randy Moss picture. This is exactly what goes on here. If we're not going to have Tom Grossi, as our Packers pick, we're going to have Randy Moss doing the moon. This is the perfect photo right freaking here for the Super Freak. That's what you were hoping for? All right. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, I remember this. Oh, so great. It was in the playoff game too, right? And the Packers were supposed to pick us apart. I was surprised. My mom saved the newspaper the next day. She was like, "I think you'll like this." Shout out to my mama. Oh, beautiful. All right, let me put in the names here. All right, look at that. All right, let's review these. I changed teams when Randall Cunningham signed with the Vikings. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. Basically, the Niners beat the Vikings. I was a Twins fan for baseball. So then when I learned Minnesota had a football team and had those awesome purple unis, I said, ooh, they're my second favorite team. And then when the Niners beat them in the playoffs, I'm like, damn, I feel bad for the Vikings. So then I just became a fan, strangely. Cover a team who relocated. Yeah. I mean, the Sonics would be right up there for me because that was my favorite basketball team growing up. That is Walter Payton, John. He was part of that 85 championship team. All right, let's take a look here. So Ray Lewis, completely agree. As great as Ed Reed was, Jim Brown, easily. Mean Joe Green, you guys, I think you made the right call. As many, even though that was a tough one to finalize to 4. Ocho Cinco, I think for our viewers, a lot of people would say the same thing, so that's cool. Burrow could be that guy though. Eventually, Sweetness, yeah. Walter Payton, he's the guy. Butkus would be close. Brett Favre, I can't pick against Brett Favre. Barry Sanders, again, who could pick against him? I mean, Megatron was a legend, but Barry Sanders, there will not be another Barry Sanders. Joe Montana for the Niners, I agree. Marshawn, that was the one where we had the tiebreaker, but Largent could be right up there too. Kurt Warner, love that one. It has to be him, especially being right next to Larry Fitzgerald here. I think that's just beautiful. And I'm cool with the Fitzgerald pick too. Bo Jackson, I think that's kind of a unique pick. It's kind of sexy. I'm cool with it. I probably would have picked Howie Long, but I've got no beef. LT, it was between him and Junior Seau. And yeah, I'd be perfectly happy with either of them. Again, Mahomes, I think is cool, especially with the fact that the Chiefs, they're not done yet. And so, I mean, Derek Thomas probably would have been my guy, but I mean, again, Mahomes could win another Super Bowl next year, and he would have to be it. And John Elway, like, come on, who else are we going to pick there? Then in the East divisions, Jim Kelly, great pick. I mean, this is almost all quarterbacks here. But yeah, I would have been fine with like OJ as well. That would have been Bruce Smith too. Dan Marino, unless you have a real strong case for somebody specific on that 72 team, sure. This is hilarious. You guys killed it with this one. We're going to get some chuckles out of people, and it's well warranted. Nice one, even though we know it should be Joe Namath, but hey. And of course, Brady. Theismann, tough. I don't know. I wasn't watching the Redskins back then, so, and there isn't one other player who specifically jumps out at me. Maybe Sean Taylor, but even though he was murdered, I mean, his career was kind of short, but he was a future Hall of Famer probably. So anyway, that's cool. Eli, this is probably the one I have the biggest beef with, if anything, because I think Lawrence Taylor should certainly be ahead of him. I think there are others who should be ahead of him too, but even so, it's your pick. Emmitt Smith, this is cool, right? Aikman, Irvin, Emmitt, Dion, all from that era, right? You got to find somebody from that era, or Staubach or Dorsett could have been a good pick too. Donovan McNabb, I'd probably disagree with this one. I'd put Brian Dawkins ahead of him. I think he was more dominant at his position than McNabb, but McNabb did get to a Super Bowl, got really close. And then lastly, we've got the South here. McNair, I'm cool with that. We had Warren Moon to consider and Earl Campbell. I thought maybe Earl Campbell, if we had some more people, we might have gotten enough votes for him. But yeah, McNair, of course, rest in peace. A good dual threat quarterback. Brunell, I've got no qualms considering the Jags have never had like an otherworldly dominant player on their team. They've had great players, certainly, but Brunell would be among one of them for his prime. JJ Watt, I would slightly prefer him over Andre Johnson. Peyton Manning, absolutely. If not, it would be Johnny Unitas. Michael Vick, just because of how he played the game, I think that's fair. Warren Sapp, that'd be my pick as well. As great as there were many other great defensemen on that team. Simeon Rice, never forget, incredibly dominant as well. Drew Brees, there's nobody else who holds a candle to him. And Steve Smith, we were talking about Luke Kuechly and who was the other defensive player? Shoot. Oh, Julius Peppers. For me, it'd be between Smith and Peppers. I'm cool with Smith though. All right. You missed the East. The butt fumble was one play. I know. But I mean, is there a more dubious play in NFL history? There probably is, but there you go. Nick was the one, Windy City picked the butt fumble and people caught on. Randall Cunningham, who previously had the record for sacks taken in a season, but obviously he was a scrambler, so that makes sense. Sam Mills, yeah, I also brought him up in our conversation. Taysom Hill, Interesting. Yeah. I kind of like the idea of putting a gadget player in here. So Darren Sproles didn't quite make it. Dante Hall was a finalist for the Chiefs. And Devin Hester, with the Bears being as crazy deep as they were with the Legends, we couldn't have Devin Hester on that list quite. All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out for this. This was a lot of fun. And leave a thumbs up because then that way we can get some more people in here for next time. I love that pick, that idea from Dean here to do biggest busts for each NFL team. So maybe that could be the next stream. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but I am interested in keeping this going so that we can get a bit of a community of viewers here. And stay tuned. Hopefully Tuesday, I can have our video on David Carr in the 76 sack season. God, say that 5 times fast. So you guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll reconvene at some point. I know Cortana says thank you as well. Let's give her one more apple. Lie down. Lie down, sweet potato. There you go. There we go. And shoot, what was I going to say? I don't know. I'm super hungry, so I got to go eat. Have a great night, guys. I'll talk to you again real soon.